Main Street in Sturbridge. This meeting will be held in a hybrid format with the option of attend either in person or at the center office building or remotely. All participants are asked to remain on mute unless speaking to ensure clear audio for all the attendees. Join online at https://meet.goto.com/Sturbridge/Concom. Dial in at 1-872-240-3311. Access code is 535-536-797. Okay, I'm calling the meeting to order. Let's go with the roll call, starting on my left.
Carsten Stüber, present.
Sandra Romano present.
Ed Goodwin, present.
Eric Gaspar, present.
Nick Gravel, present.
All right, we do not have any walk-ins?
Not that I know of, but if you want to ask.
No.
If I may, Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Since this is the first conservation meeting since the untimely passing of Joe Levesque, who came in front of us a number of times and was always a gentleman and a professional, and also will be missed by many in this community as he was also very active as the president of the Sturbridge Youth Football and Cheer Association. I'd like to just take a quick moment of silence in memory of somebody who is very dear to, I think, all of us in this room.
Okay, over to that.
Thank you.
All right. That, no Barnacle walk-ins. We'll go to staff discussion.
Fantastic. So as you are all aware, we are updating the Lead Mine Forest Stewardship Plan. The current plan expires this September. We have been lucky enough to receive some funding to get this project done. It is going to be a fast-paced project. So I just kind of wanted to provide an overview as far as some history on the property itself. We'll slightly go over the conservation restriction, what essentially a forest stewardship plan is for anyone who has not been a part of this process before, previous lead efforts, and then just some things that the commission and the general public should be aware of as we're kind of going into this project. So for those that are not familiar, this is on our southern end of town. We're looking at the Lead Mine Mountain Conservation Area, which obviously abuts several other town-owned parcels as well, and then the Dowdy property that we just acquired is up in this area too. Former home of the Johnson Family Farm and Sawmill. If you haven't had a chance to go out there before, you can still see the stone foundation from where some of that was. It's a great little touch of history out there. It was later purchased for the Camp Robinson Crusoe property. That camp was used until somewhere in the 70s, and then it was then purchased by Old Sturbridge Village. The town, in partnership with Department of Fish and Wildlife, purchased this property from Old Sturbridge Village back in June in 2006 with a total purchase price of $3.8 million. The town used $1.9 million of CPC funds, and the state Fish and Wildlife matched that as well, which puts us into the area itself where we see it now. So it's currently under the care and custody of the Sturbridge Conservation Commission, which is why we're taking action and leading this plan. This is a requirement of the conservation restriction of having an active stewardship plan. Mass Division of Fish and Wildlife is the CR holder. Liz Newland does our annual site inspections to check all of the perimeters, any trail activity, and then writes, letters of any concerns. We've kind of talked about some of those over the past, and our most recent visit was done end of last year. So it's a total for this specific area, total of 826.37 acres, split up between 10 Shattuck Road and 36 Shattuck Road. Very diverse habitat out there. If you haven't gotten a chance to walk around, one of the most common areas that people like to go to is visiting the Blue Lagoon. There's several vernal pools out there, potential vernal pools. I actually have a trail cam set up on one of them right now, and I'm hoping that we'll get some fun footage to be able to just utilize for other purposes down the road. It abuts several other town-owned parcels, and right now it's used for passive recreation, including trails, hunting, and fishing. As far as the conservation restriction itself, as I mentioned, it is held by the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and that conservation restriction applies to the whole 286 acres. The purpose of the conservation restriction was to permanently protect the land from development. It required forestry to meet conservation goals, and it requires Fish and Wildlife the review and approval of a plan. Just to kind of skim over as far as the approved acts, as I mentioned, this is for passive recreation, so this is not a parcel that could be developed into fields or anything like that. Majority of all structures are pretty much prohibited from this area. It allows for general maintenance, non-paved trails, commercial cultivation, and harvest of forest products. Signage, which the CR does state the dimensions that are maximum allowable for signage. Invasive species removal, stocking sport, wildlife, and fish species, which currently is not done on that property. Enhancement of wildlife habitat, and any type of historic investigation, including archaeology. Sturbridge has history of the Nipmuc tribe that heavily was in that area as well. I'm not sure if there's been any artifacts ever found out here. Be a great thing to kind of, maybe we can include Wally in on this process and the rest of the Historic Commission, but does have a lot of history out there. As far as most prohibited acts, most construction activity, impervious surface, mining, excavating, dredging, storage of junk materials, any type of detrimental activity, and that is mentioned in several different ways throughout the CR, but that essentially is anything that could impact wildlife habitat. So when we're looking at trail development, we're heavily looking at the recommendations as far as wildlife corridors and those proper gaps. Any type of activity that's going to cause major erosion, any type of activity that's going to do a lot of noise, hence the use of motorized vehicles, which are not authorized on this property, which does include town-owned vehicles as well. It does not include emergency vehicles. So if police, fire needs to go out there, they are allowed to. Any other motorized vehicle use, even the use of leaf blowers, we're technically supposed to alert Fish and Wildlife of this type of activity. We are not allowed to do tree and vegetation removal beyond what is part of a specific plan. So whenever we have trail improvements and we're looking at things that do require tree removal, or if it's a hazardous tree, those get looked at closely, and we do wrap Fish and Wildlife in for that as well to kind of have them weigh on it. Any type of commercial or industrial use, obviously not including forestry itself, and any type of chemical use or storage. So that does also include the use of herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, algicides, the things that are mentioned within our bylaw. What is a forest stewardship plan? So similar to our master plan process, this is a 10-year roadmap. It's setting forth goals and objectives for us to execute over the series of 10 years. This is obviously a challenge because our department is extremely limited in staff support and what we can actually do, which is probably why, it comes and goes for what we can put into it. So when we're looking at a plan, one thing we really want to make sure is it's something that can be attainable, that we can actually try to move forward and execute. The plan itself will include documents from the existing forest conditions, which include a tree analysis, different forest types, different types of wildlife habitat and ecology zones, growth patterns and regeneration. It identifies natural resources such as wildlife habitat, wetlands and water resources, rare and sensitive species, and soil conditions. And it establishes clear management goals to improve forest health, habitat enhancement, invasive species management, and timber harvesting. As far as making a good plan, one thing that we're looking for is something that is specific to this property. It's not a generic plan that we can copy and paste to apply to all of our town-owned parcels. It's going to balance ecology, recreation, and long-term sustainability. One great thing that with this plan is we did get the funding to include the climate habitat and the bird habitat plans as well. So we're going a little bit above and beyond for this, which is really going to help us plan for future conditions and take a look at anything that might impact this. Obviously, we had a big hit with the gypsy moths not that long ago. We all know spotted lanternflies are on the move. So all things that we can kind of plan for. Invasive species, there's several out there. And we're also incorporating all of our stakeholders for input. So this is, to a degree, a community project, trying to get involvement from people that are utilizing it, have a special interest in this property. This is not a logging plan, a development plan, or a one-time document. From this, we can then apply for forest cutting plans and whatnot, but this is kind of just the master document that will give us what our next steps will be. As far as previous stewardship efforts, there was a forest plan that was approved in 2009 and another one in 2016. That's the one that's about to expire. There's been several forest cutting plans, so we do have a history of logging out here. There's been quite a bit of trail improvements. There's some unauthorized trails, but for the most part, we've been able to restore any of those areas. There was a dam removal project that was initiated by Fish and Wildlife, and from everything that we're reviewing, it kind of looks like that it stopped at a culvert replacement. We're trying to revisit that so we can attempt to remove it to follow through with the rest of this project, but it does appear the dams were removed with the goal of trying to promote fish movement. Ed can give you a lot of history on that, but we're kind of working through it to figure out how we can pick back up, especially with all of the grants that are out there for ecological restoration. There's also mention of invasive species management in the existing plan. From what I can see, this was never really executed. As I mentioned, it's tough to kind of manage these things with a two-person department. So that's one thing that we'll have to look forward is how we'll be able to actually implement anything along the lines of invasive species management. For the project team, obviously it's our conservation department staff, so Lori and I, you all, the Conservation Commission. We have issued a contract to Fieldstone Natural Resources, so Ross will be our forester on the project. And then, of course, Mass Department of Fish and Wildlife, Liz Newlands will be working closely with us. We're hoping to have just a brief project kickoff meeting with Liz and Ross and I just to kind of go over the conservation restriction and move things from there. For the scope of work for what the contract with our forester is, it's going to cover our base plan, which is going to include the forest inventory, GIS mapping, and management recommendations. Some of these will be based off of what they're seeing on site. A lot of this is also going to come from us. What we know of the property, things that we want to see, and being really vocal about making sure these things make it in the plan. Add-ons, as I mentioned, we're getting the climate forestry plan and the bird habitat plan, which with how diverse the ecology is out there, this is such a perfect landscape to get those types of projects. We're all seeing the changes to our climate, and development is happening everywhere, and with the change in state regulations, they're getting looser to allow for more development in some areas, so we really do need to be very proactive in preserving our open space and making sure that it is healthy open space. So the total cost of the project is a little over $16,000, and we've got the funding, that's $15,905.18 from the state. We do have the money in our budget to cover that remaining cost. So this is just for the Forest Stewardship Plan update. Our overall objectives in writing a new plan are going to be to increase resilience, promote species diversity, prepare for the forest for future conditions, support declining species, improve biodiversity, and align with state and wildlife goals. For those that aren't familiar, the governor did put into effect the state biodiversity goals. There are grant fundings that are slowly being released to go under that initiative. There's a lot for ecological restoration. They come and go as far as invasive species management, but we are seeing some action and some support from the state to potentially provide funding for any future projects that we may do under this plan. Some real things that the commission needs to consider with this is, one thing is if we want to continue the logging and timber harvesting activity out there. There are some trail projects that have kind of been on hold pending Conservation's decision as to whether or not we want to continue this type of activity. That's something we'll definitely rely on our forester to advise us on once he's able to go out and do an assessment of it. Passive versus active management. Are there things that we can do to kind of let the natural elements work themselves out versus where we need to intervene? Invasive species control, trail use versus wildlife protection, again, really respecting those wildlife corridors, and this is probably one of the most popular trail systems in town. We get several special use permit requests for it. There's a lot of, it gets used for cross-country meets, and the state police have used it for some search and rescue operations. So it's, you know, there's a lot of use on it. So we really need to make sure that with all of this use, that we're doing the best we can to protect all of that habitat. And then obviously public access versus conservation priorities. It is a public parcel, so we need to make sure that the public is respecting this area and is aware of what our objectives are with trying to preserve this land. The plan will give us a clear management plan for the next 10 years. It will seek to improve overall forest health. It will give us a climate resiliency strategy, enhance wildlife habitat, and make us stronger for grant eligibility in the future. Anytime you have a plan in place, whether that's your master plan, your open space plan, housing production, all of these plans are really helpful when it comes to applying for grants, because then you're able to reference it that this grant will help support a project that is a goal under this plan.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
That was my fan.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out where it was coming from. I'm getting some kind of fan here.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he's fine. It's overheated.
It's too hot for the projector.
Scary, actually.
There we go. All right. So our next steps here is to do a kickoff meeting with the forester. I've requested that he kind of take some time to kind of go out and explore the property on his own too, to, you know, it's a lot of land to cover. We'll have to coordinate with stakeholders, which include Fish and Wildlife, which we already are, and DCR Service, which we already are. Working with our Trails Committee, our Open Space Committee. Also, Last Green Valley, this is kind of under their territory as well, and they do use this for a lot of events. So working with them will be a great opportunity for us, also for potential support in projects down the road. And then, of course, the Sturbridge residents. We do want to hear what our community wants to say about this property. Obviously, we're limited with what we can and cannot do under the CR, but if there's things that the community is vocal about, if they're, you know, threats that they may see to specific wildlife species or areas where they've seen significant erosion, we want to hear from them, because there are eyes and ears that are out there, and they're seeing things from a slightly different perspective from what we do. We'll also be scheduling a public site walk. That's going to be posted on the calendar for ideally all of the commission to attend, so we'll work with your availability to set that up, and then obviously our contractors. And anyone from the public that wants to join us to just walk this, we won't walk the whole trail system, but we'll at least be able to kind of go to key areas. Depending on what comes back, it might be 2 separate days, but we'll figure out how the best way to go about that. And then we'll have the draft plan for review. As far as the timeline, it's a tight timeline. So for the rest of the spring, we're doing field work and data collection. May 31st is kind of our ideal to have that draft plan together for the commission to review. So we have 1 month to go through it and make any tweaks before finally submitting it. For review and revisions, we also have to send it to Fish and Wildlife. With having Liz so closely involved in this project, that should be a fast process, because if we're keeping her in the loop, she'll be aware of everything that's already in it when it's in the draft. And then we have to submit this plan to DCR by June 30th to be able to get the reimbursement funds.
That's tight.
It is, but we can do it. Recommendations for the commission and any other stakeholders. So definitely reviewing the current forest stewardship plan. All of these booklets have been, I've shared a link with everyone for managing forest carbon, working with nature, valuable resources, adapting to changing conditions. There's some guides on just where to start, questions to ask, things to do. So those are all on our website. Also talk to your community members. If there's anyone that you know that is out in this trail area a lot, talk to them, get some feedback, let them know that this is happening. If they want to stay involved in the process as far as knowing when there's site visits, they can reach out to me and I can keep them on that email list. And if you go on our website, I've actually provided a quick and easy way to kind of access all this information. So once you're on the Conservation Commission's page, you go down to the Lead Mine Forest Stewardship Plan Update. Gives you a little summary of what we're doing here. All the links to the guides through DCR, including Forestry for the Birds and Climate Forestry. The Massachusetts Forest Cutting Practice Act, which 4 of you have a hard copy of. I only had 4. Sorry, Nick, I kind of assumed you had that or are familiar with it. And then if you scroll down to a copy of this presentation and the 2016 and the 2019 plan for your reference, so you can take a look at those and see what was done in the past as far as recommendations, and then maybe just off of your own history and knowledge with this town, you'll have a better idea of what was done, but I would recommend that you spend some time kind of looking at these. So again, knowing what questions you want to ask when we do have those meetings, when we do have those site visits, to just kind of help this moving as fast as we can and doing a thorough job with this as well. That's what I have. Do you all have any questions?
No, looks great.
Fantastic.
So that timeline, is that a stretch goal that we have, or is there some sort of enforced deadline that we need to meet?
You want the money, right?
To get the money, DCR has to receive the draft by June 30th. If there's some things that we can go back to do, it doesn't need to be approved by June 30th. They just have to have that draft. And then if there's anything further on that needs to go, or if we want to continue to work with our forester to do next steps, we can kind of go about any of that process too.
I have a question. In one of the slides, you show a lot of milestone in terms of forest inventory, GIS mapping, bird habitat. Are all those also part of this report by June 30? Or like
They
that
are.
is the-
A lot of that information we have already.
Okay.
So the groundwork was done, a lot of the groundwork was done in 2006 as far as the mapping and the GIS. Not too much has changed then. Maybe some updates to the trail maps, but that's about it. And our Trails Committee is very active in trying to update those too. And we have the GIS layers for all of those. So that makes it easy too, because we can use our GIS software and kind of just share those layers to keep things moving. So I'm not too worried about the timeline. It's just going to be, over the next month, just, site visit and draft, but we can do it. Anyone else have any questions?
Thank you
Where
very
did
much.
the
Great
name
job.
lead mine come from?
There's a lead mine up there.
There's a lead mine, oh my goodness.
Yep.
Graphite, okay.
Graphite.
Yep. So the Nipmunks mined the graphite from there.
Yeah, wow.
Look it up. They actually,
It's a history.
Anybody
Yes.
else like to speak to this? All right.
Super.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your time.
We're now on to 6:30. And
Not quite.
we have a public notice of intent for 116 Podunk Road. Owner applicant Timothy Magliaro, representative Charles Caron. Environmental consulting, DEP file number we don't have. Proposed project, new single-family home, driveway, well, septic system grading, site grading, and other appurtenances. All right, you'd like to come up?
And if you could just state your name and address for the record.
My name is Tim Magliello. I am a non-resident landowner at 116 Podunk Road. I currently reside in Worcester. So my project, my wife and I want to build a single-family home. We want to move to the community. We're not doing this this is kind of our last move. We're not doing this to sell it. We're not, in the business of building homes and making money. This is strictly for our own personal residence. You know, a few things that I'm very passionate about. I think Glenn will be able to attest to this. When I was on the Worcester Conservation Commission, you know, a couple things I'm passionate about is the bees, the butterflies, zero chemicals. You know, I fought against anything, any measure that, you know, asked for chemical use to solve the problems of our environment. And, you know, my plan with this property, you know, a lot of people think that, you know, oh, the power lines, that's terrible. You know, it's, you know, why would you want to live right next to the power lines? Well, I want to have that 2-acre strip to be wildflowers and pollinators and bees and butterflies. And I think I shared with some of you, you know, kind of my passion for flowers. And, you know, it's important to me. And I've walked every square inch of this property up and down over the past 5 years. I know it blindfolded. And, you know, and I kind of reviewed any, you know, many possible options for, you know, where to put the house, what would be less intrusive. I know that there's, you know, some wildlife that uses the back swamp, that refer to First Acres, which is beyond my land, you know, and we didn't want to do anything to interrupt that. We want, you know, we want to be part of nature, not against it. And my wife and I are passionate about that. We try to teach that to our kids, our grandkids. My granddaughter goes out with me a lot. We plant blueberry seeds out there. You know, we just have fun doing it and being part of nature. We don't play video games out there. It's just, I want, you know, and I want the next generation to follow me, to, you know, to have this, you know, I'm hoping that this stays in my family for many generations. That's kind of the goal. We originally were going to wait, you know, a few more years to do it. Circumstances, we had another grandson this past year, and we said, you know what, it's time. Let's move to Sturbridge. Let's get the ball rolling. So Mark Elbag was our engineer. Chuck Karen, the wetland scientist, you know, he's been a fantastic partner with us. You know, we love that, like where the house is, like we want to look, we really want, you know, we're looking forward to looking over that wetlands behind us. We don't want to have a deck in the back. And I say, we do want to have a balcony there that we can overlook it, but we're not looking to interrupt any of that. And I know that we're going to present a new plan that shows the limit of clearing. And, you know, within anything in the back, we don't plan on removing any of the stumps back there. We don't want to interrupt the hill. We just really want to get some of that that's going to be overhanging the house out of there. I spoke with Lauren today, and I understand that you guys want to do another site visit, and I encourage it, and I look forward to it. I rented a machine that will be there this weekend, so I'm going to pull those big logs hopefully up towards the power lines. I'm hoping that that's acceptable to you. I can get everything outside the 200 feet there and get those big logs out there. I'm hoping just to have, when the tree guy comes in, you know, one mobilization and take all the trees that he's going to take. We are putting together a landscape plan. A lot of the plantings, we're going to be transplanting the seedlings from underneath the power lines that we stopped the power company from cutting down. They gave me the timeline of once they reach 10 feet, they have to cut them down. So they gave me until they reach 10 feet tall to transplant them. So our plan is to transplant the trees that are there on the site, on the property, and move them over to in between where our home is going to be and the power lines. We really want to have a good border of those tall pines. There. So that line shown on the plan is the limit of the power line easement. So along that easement, and again, we can't plant anything within the easement. You know, the power company has the jurisdiction over anything that grows there. But I can do anything up to 10 feet tall, which is why we're going to go with the wildflowers under the power lines and the pollinators. We did, and I mentioned at the site visit, we reached out to UMass Amherst. They sent us the seed mixture. We're getting it from PLS Seed in Worcester. that it's the same pollinator mix that they use, that they approve for the solar field in Charlton, which is, I believe, less than 3 miles away. It might be within that 3-4 mile area. But we're gonna use the same pollinator blend that they're using there over on our property. I actually, if you saw that water tank that was on site, that's actually a hydroseeder. I picked that up just so I could hydroseed the power lines, basically, in my lawn. We are gonna have, we plan on having a small lawn in the front, but I'm gonna tell you, 0 chemicals, 0, all we do is we feed our plants we use wood ash, we use grass clippings, and we use leaves. We grind up the leaves in the fall, and that's it. This is what we introduce back into our land. And this is what we do now, and this is what we want to continue to do. And, again, our next generations, we want them to kind of live on the same legacy. And I can't promise that, but I can promise you that I teach it. So we have a plan. We will be there Saturday, like I said, to pull those big trees. I'm hoping that if we can get them outside the 200 feet and please come back for another site visit. I'm hoping that that's acceptable, so we just have to mobilize the tree company one time. But any questions you have?
So there are 2 potential vernal pools in the back of the property, one on the abutting property. We did not receive a vernal pool analysis, so under our bylaw, we just assume that they're vernal pool habitat. I don't anticipate an impact to the ones on the rear because of the way the topography is set up, the limit of clearing. There's kind of a hump barrier between it. As the applicant mentioned, we are going to be receiving a revised plan to show those things. I had also mentioned that I believe there's a line for the 25-foot buffer, but it's not as clear that it wasn't identified on the plan, so just having that on there as well. He also mentioned defining the limit of work and the clearing that was on there, just so it is very crystal clear as far as what is to be cut, limit of clearing, and then if there's any other trees outside of that limit of clearing that appear hazardous, that you would have to specifically mark those as well. So that way when the commission is looking at that plan, they will assume that anything that was within that limit of area or limit of clearing is what you intend to cut, and that's what they would or would not agree to.
We did GPS locate the trees that we plan on keeping, so that will be shown on the plan as well.
Okay. I would recommend some mitigation, hence providing a landscaping plan as well to show what's going to be in. All native, only native plants count for mitigation. I also recommended adding some erosion controls on this side here to protect the resource area on the budding property. It is quite a distance, but it is pretty steep area as well. So I'd like to see some erosion controls on the plan for this area.
All the way down to the street?
It's pretty much on the slope.
Okay.
In an order of conditions, I have a standard condition 2 that would require an extra percentage of siltation barriers to be kept on site. So that way, if during construction we get inclement weather that they need to be replaced, there's something ready right there versus having to wait during peak construction seasons and trying to find them. I also requested some details on the foundation drain that's shown in the back of the property. We did talk about some stormwater mitigation when we were on site too. So showing the pitch of the driveway and seeing where we might be able to implement something there. Showing a designated snow storage area, so when you're plowing the driveway, the goal of keeping the snow as far away from the resource area as possible. It is a long driveway, so you might have, a spot at the top and a spot at the bottom, or however that works out. If we have snow like we did this year, it was a lot of snow to store.
Not to interrupt, and I apologize, we did calculate the slope today. It came in at 7.5%, so I don't know what the,
Okay.
and this is showing
Anything
finished
exceeding,
grades. It's current-
and once it hits 8%, our buffer actually extends to 500 feet, and anything that exceeds 12% does not meet the driveway requirements.
Okay.
So calculating that. I also had the conversation with the applicant already on this, but anything that, the house is just shown as just the box of the house. Anything that they intend to add as far as a walkway, a deck, They talked about a cantilever deck on the rear of the house, patios, anything like that that you're looking to have as part of your final plan, so we don't end up, any wild surprises at the end when we go to close out the project. Put in that request now. As the applicant had mentioned, we had talked about trying to clean up the site. It was a bit difficult to see the existing conditions with all of the trees that had already been taken down. So with the commission's approval, looking to do it just under a wetland bylaw letter permit to drag the downed trees only to the side of the property. No more tree removal, no other alteration of the site, just to move those and essentially kind of clean that up so the commission can go back there and see the existing conditions on the ground without anything covering it, because that's really what you're making your recommendation off of, is what you're seeing and what those existing conditions are presenting to you, so we can plan a better project. Those are my comments.
Pat down that side. Get you the hot seat.
I'm in the hot seat.
Yeah. You gotta be Eric.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So, when you move all those trees, like you're getting a machine up there, does he have to wait until we send him a letter, or are we sending it today so he'll be able to work on it this weekend?
If the commission agrees to it, I'll send it out tomorrow, so he has it to do it on Saturday.
Are we keeping the stumps on the trees, or are we cutting the stumps off the logs?
Probably gonna cut them off, just to make it easier to move those trees.
Sure.
Because
And then are we gonna leave the stumps on property, or are we just gonna get them out of there? What's the?
the plan with any stump, from all of the tree clearing is, I already actually have a cost to grind the stumps on site, and I want all of those grindings to remain on site. I'm not looking to remove any stumps off site. I want, he'll be coming in with a big tub grinder, and everything will be ground on site, and all that material will stay on site.
I think that's it for me.
With a stone inside of those stumps, is that gonna cause some problems for a grinder? Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. I don't wanna be anywhere near there. Okay, so just for clarification, because it sounds like you said one thing and you clarified another, so I just in my brain. So we're just authorizing the movement of the trees.
No more trees
You had
coming.
said you were talking about having the tree company come in and just do it once. Those are scheduled two different things.
well, if I have to, right, what I'm trying to avoid is having him come in to remove these trees. So that's why if I can just get them up towards the power lines for now, so I don't have to mobilize him twice, just because there's a big expense in mobilizing him twice. So I'm trying to not mobilize him in to remove those trees. I'd like to, I was able to line up a piece of equipment that I could rent, the trees that are on the ground now.
Right, yeah.
I was able to rent a piece of equipment that's available this weekend, so I was gonna do it this weekend and just pull them all, but I gotta, again, cut the stumps off to do that.
Right.
But no, and again, I'm, no stumps, I don't plan on any stumps leaving that site. It'll all be ground and that material will be used on site. So in the meantime, they'll be piled on the opposite side of the power lines.
Yeah. And on site, you had mentioned that you had looked at the potential of getting the house completely out of the 100-foot. However, that would require more ledge removal.
It would, or I could raise the sill and then it would require having more fill needed to be brought in to get everything on grade. And I'll be honest with you, the 7 closest houses to this property are all within 100 feet of the resource area. So I was rolling the dice when we engineered this to be 96 feet on that corner, or 94 or 96, I don't remember what the exact corner was. I think it was 96, but I can move it. It just adds additional expense. And we already did actually reduce the size of the house. The original house was another, I think it was 600 square feet. The original house was 2,800 square feet. We reduced it down to just under 2,200 square feet. And I'm not saying we couldn't reduce it more. Hopefully my wife's not watching this meeting right now. She might tell a different story. She doesn't, but no, we feel that we have a nice design. It took us a long time to put it together, and again, we reduced it to we really tried to get outside that 100, but it was just, without removing the ledge, you know, I'd have to make a decision, I guess, if you wanted me, you know, if that 4 feet, you know, is critical. And I understand if it is, I respect that. I'm just gonna have to make a decision on, do we reduce the house by that size? You know, do we cut one of the sections off? This is a modular, so do we cut, you know, that right section off and do everything in the 3-unit footprint? Or do we have a ledge a company come in and remove the ledge?
My question, just from your professional perspective, is for a difference of 4 to 6 feet, is the removal of that ledge and all that goes into that and the additional disturbance that would be required to do that, would that outweigh the impact of having the overlay of a few feet into that 100-foot buffer?
So this
Because we
is
certainly don't want to make it
Right.
worse just to conform to a standard.
So this is a very ledgy site, and there is not a high absorbency rate for any runoff. It's kind of just sheet flows off. So a recommendation would be to try to do as little alteration to the existing grades as possible to try and avoid any flow pattern changes, because right now it's kind of set up in a way that we can try to anticipate based off of those different watersheds within the site, where once you start changing things, you're not too sure of what those other effects are going to be. I don't think that it's so extensive that you'd have to blast the site, but, you know, avoiding of trying to change those grades, in my opinion, does make a difference, that you'd want to try and just work with what's already there. Modify the plan to meet the landscape, not the landscape to meet the plan.
Yeah. No, and I agree. You know, my primary concern was we have to put some logic into how we apply the standards, and if we're put you in a situation where you got to go in and then lo and behold you do have to blast, well then what does that mean for other things? So okay, that was my primary concern of what I wanted to discuss. Okay, thank you.
And the other thing, the other point I'd like to make, so I requested the engineer to show the outfall of the perimeter drain out the back because of that resource area down below. It dries up in July. Like, I want to be able to recharge the system. I want the water that falls to be able to make it to this area. And I have no issue at all doing any type of sedimentation barriers, you know, a stone basin, anything to prevent it. But a lot of our wetlands are drying up, and that's the problem. And, you know, this, I believe, is one of the prime pieces of the property. I'm looking forward to the day where I can look out my back window and look at it. And I'd like to preserve it forever. And I'm also, as stated, permanent wetlands markers wherever you want them. If you want them at 50 feet, 75, like, I will put as many as you want. I have zero issue with that.
Almost said it.
So just I don't know if you mentioned this, Lauren, to show the extent, so you have just the footprint of the house, or if you can bring the extent of the full clearance. So for example, is that going to be a lawn, grass, plants that you may want to put? So what is that extent? Because right now it's showing only the extent of the house, and the area is very wooded from what I can see from the satellite image. I wasn't able to go to the visit, but it will give me a more clear idea of like the whole extent of the project beyond the footprint of the house.
Yes, we are going to show limited clearing. We're going to show the trees that are remaining, some of those big oak, there's some gorgeous oak trees there. I can't wait for you to see them. Like, so we'll show the limited clearing. We'll show the trees that we intend on keeping. I do have the native plant list that Lori provided to me. And I honestly didn't know what variety of white pine those were under the power lines. I probably could have been close to having that done today, but I've already got the landscape plan almost done. So I will have that for the next meeting.
Excellent, thank you.
Carson?
I think most of the questions are, so the driveway is mainly outside of the 100-foot zone, right?
Yes, the 100 is shown there, right where the word clean out is.
So what would you have to do to get it up to standard for the DPW?
We're there. I met with DPW today. We did some measurements based off finished grades. Right now, like what they're showing for finished grades is not what's out there now. I just been trucking up and down with, riding over the rocks. Like the permanent driveway won't be like that. My wife wouldn't allow that.
So you're set with the driveway, but
The permanent grade shown on the plan, we will build it to those grades, and that does come in under 8%. If you do the measurements and the numbers, it does come in under 8%.
I have a quick question. When it comes to mitigation plantings, if you're taking those are eastern white pines, Pinus strobus on the other side, can you use those as mitigation plantings if he's taking them from one part of the site to the other?
Well, they're scheduled to be cut down from the power company.
Sure, I understand
So I
that.
kinda
Yeah, no,
say
I
I
totally
saved their
get that
life.
they're getting taken down. That was my question. Like, does he have to go out and buy
Nope, those can be implemented as
those can be
mitigation.
implemented? That was just what my question was. Okay.
Technically, those are off-site right now, I think, right?
They're on his property.
Out of our,
No,
they're
my
they're out of our
property goes beyond.
jurisdiction.
He owns it's just
You own the power lines, or do they
The
have
lots,
easements?
yeah, the lots a total 50, what's the size of the total lot? 15 acres?
No, it's just under 12, like 11.96.
Oh, it's right there in
Yeah,
front of me,
12 acre lot.
11.96.
12
wait.
acres, yes.
One of the questions I was going to ask.
And originally, it was 4 lots. We purchased it from Habitat for Humanity, and we did see a plan for 3 houses out there. Originally, somebody was looking to put 3 houses on those 4 lots. Whether or not they would have gotten approval from this board, I don't know. We didn't want to see that. We combined it into 1 lot. We're not looking to subdivide. We're not looking any of that. We just wanted that one beautiful parcel as 1 lot.
Okay, guess I'm last. First of all, why did you start putting in the driveway without approval from the Conservation Commission?
To be honest, I didn't
I
think
thought you were on a Conservation Commission.
I was, and where typically the rule is 100 feet, I just didn't look at your town bylaw. And so I have some trailers that I keep on site. I have trailers that I own. So I had put that in so I can get my trailers in and out. I wasn't trying to sneak anything by the board, and I apologize. I thought by staying outside the 100 feet, I thought I was okay. And ignorance is no excuse. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but that's the truth.
To be honest, I don't understand why you can't turn that house to like 230 in that corner. If the corner is 12, go to 230 and that'll be off the site.
So I walked the entire site with a 3-foot, 1-inch diameter drill. And and that's how I went around with a 1-inch diameter drill to figure out the depth of rock. The ledge on this site, it's pretty actually amazing. It's almost like waves in an ocean. So running almost parallel with Podunk Road, can I walk up to the?
There's a pointer in front of you too.
Right there.
Oh, okay. So there's like a ripple of ledge here, and then a ripple of ledge here, and then right where the house is, there's a ripple of ledge here, and there's a ripple of ledge on the back side, and then there's another one that's right beyond where where we were proposing our limit of clearing. So we position the house within 2 of those ripples of ledge, so the ledge comes up and comes down, and then the next row of ledge, like I said, like waves in an ocean. It's neat. But we position the house right between those 2 ledges.
Are
So
you
that's,
gonna have a full basement?
we planning on having a full basement, yes.
And you think you're gonna drain that basement off the back,
Yes,
right through the ledge?
yes.
Well, I can vouch for the fact that the what do you want to call it, came through, going to the north, and they're all in a line. Wherever you find them, you're going to find water. And if you put a foundation in there, you may be putting a swimming pool in. Very definite. I don't know, I would look at you're going to have to do some ledge work in order to make sure that the bottom of that foundation.
Absolutely, and we have to, because we're right where the septic tank is on one of those waves that I referred to. So there's definitely gonna be some ledge hammering there. I'm not naive and think that we can do this without any.
So I'd like to see you consider moving the house out of the 100 feet so that, it meets the wetland protection bylaw, and also make sure that you do have, you're talking about other things, like you're talking about a porch. Have everything on the plan that you're going to do. If you're
Yes,
gonna
that
have-
was communicated, yes.
If you're going to have raised beams to have porch on, or whatever you're going to do, we'd like to see it in the upfront so that we can comment on it. And that pretty much is about all I have to say at this point. You've got a full canvas to paint.
Yes, sir, this is my piece of Play-Doh.
What?
This is my piece of Play-Doh.
Limits are reasonable, but they're also unreasonable at times. When we go out and take a look at it, we're gonna make a decision, so if you can clean it up and get us the full plan.
Understood.
Because it really, I was disappointed when I went out, from the point of view of the chaos that you created. And I understand how it's created. Done a little of my own, but not prior to getting approval to do it, which I think you did. So you make me nervous, is what I'd say, But, be careful.
Well, at this point, the only activity that will be happening on that site, like I said, this weekend, I'm renting a machine to move the trees.
Yeah.
I do mow the power lines. I keep them, I just, with a regular mower, I mow the power lines. I do, I did snow removal there during the winter time, because as the trees were coming down, like, I needed to access the site. But, so really, and I'm there every weekend. I mean, the neighbors see me walking up and down the street with a 5-gallon bucket and a claw thing, and a lot of people, they don't like me over there, because I've blocked off the four-wheelers. I've posted no trespassing for the hunters. I had a hunter tell me that he's allowed to hunt there because he's been hunting there for 25 years. I mean, he sat there with his gun in his hand telling me that he's allowed to hunt there, and I said, you're not. You'll have to shoot me. And they don't like me. And I understand, because...
You understand that you have to post every 50 feet, right?
I did. It's posted. Yep.
That's in the story. Don't bring it to us. Tell the police.
Yeah, no, and actually, they don't call them environmental police anymore. He told me it was every 250 feet, but we did. We posted the front, we posted the back, we posted the side. It's no trespassing. It's no hunting, no...
I'm not sure.
I believe it's 50.
As part of that trail, there's a trail that comes up side of Wells State Park Road, and then it kind of loops around. I don't know if you've taken it or not, but there's the top of it, it comes around, and there's a couple cameras. No one's maybe seen it, but it's like right probably on the edge of your property, and I'm wondering if that's like a little hunting space there, and I don't know who's hunting that area, but I just...
Well, I've had 8 trail cameras stolen so far. I've been vandalized.
I don't know if I'd walked over. That's what I was trying to figure out, if you're actually... Because it does look like you come a little bit further over. Maybe I should be...
If you want to try and GPS pinpoint it, we can email it along and then have him go
Yeah, I can
investigate, see if
definitely
that's his
show
or
it,
not.
and it's marked at the bottom. So at the bottom of my land,
Yep.
we cut the grass there so we can turn around and come
Okay.
back up.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I just know that the trail goes up to the top. There's if you're going down Wells State Park Road, there's old like yellow gate that's kind of grown over near the top. If you get in there, they have some really decent trails, and up near the top, I don't believe it was posted, so I wouldn't walk on someone's, I would believe. But like, next time I will, I'll
I didn't see
sort
it.
of point
I
that.
didn't see your property being posted when I walked on it.
There was.
It
I saw one sign.
Did you see one, Sam? Yeah, I didn't see it.
I saw a couple.
It is, and I encourage, I welcome, like I said, I'll be out there on Saturday. If anybody wants to come, I'd be happy to show you any of that. I welcome it and encourage it.
Back out there in a few weeks
Yeah,
anyway,
we're
so.
gonna be back out there.
Okay.
All right? All
Do
set?
you want to, are you all fine with me authorizing a Sturbridge Wetland Bylaw letter permit strictly for the activity of dragging the existing downed trees over to the side to essentially clean up the site so the commission can see it better?
Yeah, no more trees pushed.
No
in.
more trees are coming down, nope.
Yeah, I'd like to have us all sign it, though. Yeah,
I gotta get it out tomorrow, so I wouldn't be able to get everyone's,
Okay.
that form doesn't really have a,
Well, send
it's a
us all
different form.
Send us all a copy of it,
Okay,
so that we have it.
yep.
Then it's fine.
So, make a motion to approve, Lauren issuing that, narrow-focused letter permit.
Continuation.
No.
But are we gonna have
Bylaw
a
permit.
continuation also?
Oh, yeah.
Right, but if we continue it, then I don't know that we can vote on this first, so, right?
To issue us a wetland bylaw letter permit.
Yeah.
Second.
Any further discussion on it? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
German in favor?
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Public comment? We have.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So, somebody wanted
Can you just, would you mind just coming up, sorry, and then name and address for the record?
It made me look bad. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I didn't,
Chris Luth, 126 Podunk Road, Sturbridge, obviously. So I'm an abutter to Mr. Magliaro's property. Just my one request to the Conservation Commission is if you're going to ask Mr. Magliaro to move his house, if it requires blasting, to just avoid that, right? Myself, my neighbors are all right on bedrock. My foundation's right on bedrock. We're pretty close to the property, so I just want to avoid having to do any blasting if at all possible.
Okay.
If it can,
Well, that
We
was
actually-
why I asked the
yeah.
question. That
So
was my primary.
We actually can't regulate that, but we can put provisions in place. And when blasting activity is required, permits get pulled through the fire department as well, which do require notification and inspections and everything as well, if it were to come to that. But hopefully we can avoid
how
that.
far is your house?
if you scroll over, I don't know what the exact distance is
I can't
from
get that far.
the proposed,
2 houses that are right in there.
yeah, it's a second house.
Yeah, I don't think it's shown on that plan, and I don't have the plan that
It's on the GIS if you look up.
It is on the GIS, yes.
If we kept following that wetland towards the front, your house is.
Yeah.
His house is actually, of the 7 houses, his is the furthest away at 98 feet from the resource area.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
So keep into account if we have to move it, there'll be more blasting, so maybe not make it kind of thing.
By the size of that corner, they don't have to blast it anyway. I had 300 holes drilled and blasted on my property, and it was 75 feet from my house, and I'm going to say 50 feet from my neighbors. And everything is directional. They bring it all into a pile, and it's no big deal.
The technology with dynamite is amazing these days. But our plan is not to blast.
Okay.
Currently, if the.
That was my only ask, it's just that, take into account, if you're saying, all right, Mr. McGuire, you have to move your property, and, oh, by the way, you have to blast all this
Sure.
bedrock out.
We're only talking about that little triangle.
That's fair, though.
I can't tell.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Nope.
No, I'd like to
Nope.
make a motion to continue the public hearing. For, what is 3 weeks from today? What's the date?
May 7th.
May 7th.
Second.
May 2nd?
No,
Seven.
second.
Oh, you second, okay.
We have approval from the applicant to continue.
Oh, okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. With that, we have a second, any discussion?
No, we had second.
All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin, in favor.
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Are we able to do this over email tomorrow? Because I
Yep,
don't
I'll
think
reach
I
out to
can
you
be
tomorrow.
back into town.
I will email you tomorrow.
Great.
According to the City of Worcester's website, they only have 3 sitting members of their Conservation Commission.
They do. They've actually-
want to volunteer to get back on.
They
I'm
actually
just saying.
have asked me to come back on because of the vacancies. The city manager is actually my neighbor, but I did tell him that we are moving out, so it would just, if I did do it, it would be a very short-term tenure, so. But, thank you for that.
On this weekend.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Now at 6:45, open the public hearing for the notice of intent for 91 Shore Road. Owner applicant is Mark Carroll, representative is Julian Petruba, Environmental Design, DP file number 300-1255. Proposed project is demolition of an existing family home and construction of a new single-family dwelling with associated appurtenances, okay, or improvements. All right?
There was supposed to be an engineer guy here from the office, huh?
Yep.
Uh,
They're on remote.
oh, okay.
They're on here.
Just sit here?
Yep.
Okay.
How you doing? Please introduce yourself.
Mark Carroll, 91 Shore Drive.
We can hear you, Zach.
Yep. All right, you're on.
Okay, so we're saying the demolition of an existing single-family home on a small lake shore property, Cedar Lake. Plans are to raise, that is, demolition the existing home and replace it with the same footprint. But we are adding an addition 8 feet off the front of the house toward the road, which is outside of the no structure zone. In the back, there will be a 4-foot cantilever addition off the back toward the lake, which is not set in the ground. That will be raised up in the air off of the, I don't know if it's off the first or second story. And a little bit of site grading around it because we are putting in a foundation so that the back has a walkway. It's going to be raised, dug down a couple feet in the front and raised just, it's going to be right at the walkout in the back. There is a shallow well. You can see it's near the existing shed. That is to be abandoned, and there will be a new well drilled in front of the home. You can see that about 8 feet in front of the proposed addition of the home. And there's no work proposed in the no disturb zone. We've got erosion control, doubling of our limit of work right along it. So all work will be kept out of there. And there really isn't, I don't think there's much else to tell. If there are any questions, I will answer them. I didn't know that we had DEP comments until this afternoon. I was pleased to see them. Don't have them in front of me, but there was nothing that applied to us. I did want to clear up though, because they were questioning whether there was bordering vegetated wetland on the site, and there is not. I included a form for that just because I thought it would be a nice way to display that the vegetation is upland, really maintained yard right up to the retaining wall, which is the high water mark on the face of that wall, and it drops down just to open water of Cedar Lake. So there are no wetlands, no bordering vegetated wetlands. The buffer zones that you see shown on the plan are off of the bank or the high water mark of the pond. And I think that about explains it.
Okay.
So in reviewing the plan and reviewing the site, this is obviously a very small site, very limited for what can be done. Both Jean and I had several meetings with Mr. Carroll to explore all of the alternatives for trying to make this a year-round residence. I do understand that two-story was not ideal, but that's kind of what we're limited with, partially because of the size of the site, the septic riser, and then of course the location of a new well. So this does propose abandoning the existing well and putting in a new well. There is no driveway, there's no expansion and patio. There's a cantilever deck that will go over the back, but there's no ground disturbance, so that's not within any disturbed area. My recommendations on site were to add a vegetated buffer behind this oak tree. It doesn't seem to be a heavily used area of the lawn anyway, so it's about 3 by 15. We can measure that out better with the plan, but putting some wetland grasses and native species in there to kind of naturalize that buffer. Obviously, there is a retaining wall in there, and there's been a little bit of soil loss over years from the back of the retaining wall, but overall, the wall itself is in good shape. There is no proposed tree removal. However, the oak will need to be pruned slightly just to avoid any overhang over the house or interfering with construction. So that tree will be protected if an order of conditions is issued. I would put measures in there to protect that oak. I think really the only other thing other than the vegetated buffer is some type of stormwater mitigation, whether that's in the form of gutters with a small infiltration basin or rain barrels. I'll promote our rain barrel program that's currently open right now if you want to order those. But again, it's a limited site. The addition is going towards the road, not towards the lake. And
Except for the cantilever, right?
no, because that's over.
We can't
It's
leave.
over?
There's
Over
nothing in
what?
the ground.
What?
There's no ground disturbance
So
for
you
the
can build
cantilever.
anything you want toward the lake as long as it doesn't touch the
We don't
ground?
have jurisdiction over air.
What?
We don't have jurisdiction over air.
Good to know.
But we have jurisdiction over where it comes from.
Not over the house,
Yes.
no.
Of course we do. Where it comes out of the house?
Not on the side of the house, no.
Where it comes out of the house,
So it's grass vegetated underneath it. It's not a new structure. It's a new structure with the no build, but it's not going closer with a footprint.
so let's see if I can get this thing to work. I'll have to-
For the resource areas, that's under our jurisdiction.
No, I disagree.
Okay,
We'll
well,
have
we
to get-
can,
We'll have to get a read on it, because I think you're totally wrong.
that's fine. So, as I mentioned, no changes to drive conditions. Obviously, the car might probably be shifted slightly to, to avoid any disturbance to the well area. Yep, so stormwater mitigation and a vegetated buffer for recommendations.
Excuse me,
Minimal grading required in the front.
Could I just interrupt? I didn't actually get to speak to Mark Carroll. How are you doing, Mark? Good evening. But about the vegetative buffer, I was thinking, and I know we had talked about it during the site walk, and I don't know what Mark's opinion is, but I was under the impression that we would prefer to not obstruct any of the vista of the pond, and so to avoid planting of any shrubs. I think the most important thing would be to ensure that what little loam we have to fill to the back of that wall to bring it back up to its previous state be stabilized, and I do think that grass, just simply loaming and seeding it and allowing the grass to stabilize the site would be best. It has been grass all up until now, and I just thought it would be nice to consider that for us. If that's okay with you, Mark, and I'm sure that if we can't agree on something that we will concede and make some sort of plantings. But if we do, I don't know that wetland plants
He's
would
saying
be
he-
the
he
best
wants- he's saying he
choice,
wants
because
grass,
it
he
is
doesn't want
upland right up to that point, and it's pretty gravelly.
He wants grass behind the house.
I think
Yeah,
it-
flat. He doesn't want any wetland plants.
perhaps high bush blueberry at the most, it wouldn't obstruct the view all that much and would likely do well in that location. Those were my thoughts.
Okay.
So I probably agree with him.
Yeah, just go with him.
Well, except we do have some say. So could we just, because I had the same question that Ed did, I understand that it's cantilever, so it's not disturbing anything, but there will be work done in that area in order to get that up to speed. So I just want to make sure that it's in fact not under our purview, so if maybe we
So if
could.
it's not under our purview, we can stop being a wetland commission and let anybody that wants to build the hell out of the front of their house.
Ed, I'm just asking for clarification.
Yeah, it's a stupid logic.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It is in the air, right? But
But it starts somewhere.
I understand that.
What would be under it?
What?
What would be under it?
Well, and
What
that's
would be under the cantilever?
that's the other. That's the other.
And it's connected to the house.
You can go out over the lake. Put a 150 footer out.
Well, technically,
We've allowed cantilever decks.
cantilever.
Cantilever homes were not. I'm pretty specific about that.
You can only go 4 feet anyways.
What?
You can only go out 4 feet.
When it comes to the plantings in front of the tree, I wouldn't mind not seeing plantings only because the tree is doing really well in its own right now, and disturbing anything that's the root system under the tree at the same time might be an okay thing. I'm down for having plantings as well, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there, that I don't mind not doing something there because the tree is already doing well. Cedar roots, there's other roots in that area, doesn't have a tight area going towards the lake, so those roots that are gonna get affected in that area, to dig down, you probably would have to cut through some decent sized roots. So I just wanted to kind of leave that out there.
Anything else?
I mean,
I'd like a continuation because I need to find out about if you can build.
Just read the first sentence of the Wetland Protection Act for what's considered alteration, and read the definitions for alteration in the Wetland Protection Act.
Are you against them doing the cantilever? Or you just want to know?
I'm against it.
Is it trying to, okay,
It's going
you don't want the
forward.
cantilever deck?
Yeah, don't want it.
for what purpose?
For the purpose of control, first of all. If you can do that, right? If you can put out 3 feet, right? Can you put out 10 feet? Can you put out 20 feet? and build a
Structurally, you
house
wouldn't
out
be
there?
able to, because the cantilever can only be designed so far. So this house structure can only support 4 feet out.
Believe me.
And if I could just chime in, just in my opinion, the 4-foot cantilever, it really isn't it would not be a significant hindrance to the buffer zone, if any at all, being in the air like had been mentioned.
That's true.
And I don't usually like mentioning abutting properties, but
You could add a
at
provision
least
like
the
we
ones
did with the
to the right.
cantilever on 21 Long, where it just can't be covered over the top.
I mean, if you're
Still
concerned about
allows things underneath.
disturbing the soil, I didn't mean to interrupt you, I'm
Right.
sorry. If you're disturbed about disturbing the soil, we could just put into the conditions that they have to apply with that area while they're doing it, so no significant soil
No,
disturbance happens.
it's
while
gonna
they're
be under
walking.
the house.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like you were saying, if regardless of what, even if we can't do anything, they still would be disturbing the soil working on that space, and I'm
Let
saying
me
if
give
we
you
put
an
down
example.
plant.
Let me give you an example. You
Yeah.
have a 10-foot setback between you and your neighbor,
Sure.
right?
I know exactly what you're
If
saying. yeah.
if your neighbor wants to put cantilevers on, he can put a house on your property by the logic that she's giving you.
Well, that's by the. It's not the logic
I
she's
get what
giving.
you're
It's
saying.
directly
I
out
get
of
what you're
the regs. Now, I don't know from a zoning regs. Maybe
Yeah.
the zoning regs read differently.
Yeah.
But
Zoning-
our job is to.
Zoning does specifically account for height, specifically, within its regulations.
So, yeah, I don't think so.
Right.
I
But
got
I
your
mean,
point. I know
if
what you're
it's,
saying.
if it's clear in the regs, I don't have any issue with that. I would like, because we are allowing for additional, I did like the idea of putting some wetland grasses down front, because it's just basically house grass, right? And so I hear your concern.
Sure.
But what I heard you say on site wasn't about putting in a bunch of bushes or substantial plantings, more like wetland grasses, right? That isn't going to impact negatively the root system of the tree.
Well,
But maybe I heard that
down.
wrong.
It's almost the same as what he's saying about you have to still dig that same size of an area. Like even if it's just a grass, or if it's a perennial, or if it's
Okay.
even a woody plant. Even if it's a smaller woody plant that's going to grow bigger.
What if there was a smaller area going back this way?
I didn't see it. I didn't look at it hard enough.
That's just
It
my
was-
opinion.
it was
I mean,
right in
I'm
front of
okay
the-
with
yeah,
doing the
shed.
plants. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
In front of the shed, in front of that
So
oak.
I must say I'm not that concerned about this cantilever deck.
No concern either.
Yeah.
It's out of the 25-foot buffer zone and is 4 feet in the air. I wouldn't be concerned about it.
As projects go, this is that's about as good as generally comes in front of us, about as clean. And if you have concerns about the wetland plants,
It's
then
not
that puts my
proposing
concern
expanding
too.
the footprint of the house. It's like,
Yeah.
I have the question with the stormwater mitigation. It's not in the order of conditions at the moment. Are we putting it in?
I would recommend adding something,
So
depending on what you want. Like I said, it could be,
So what do we add? If we
you can
approve
do,
or not
it
approve,
may
then
be
we-
what the applicant would agree to as well.
so what-
Gutters with downspouts with just a small gravel infiltration area to prevent erosion is simple. Rain barrel, if your wife likes to garden, a rain barrel is also a great option.
would that be fine?
Yeah, I'll do whatever you want. I mean, I want to live there.
Well, you might want it anyway, because you're now going to a 2-story house and having that sheet
Right.
flow come off of the roof.
But, you
might
know, you can build that cantilever there without ever touching the ground. You don't have to go on the ground and bring tools and stuff there. That it goes out and you can work on that and
Yeah.
go back in when you're done.
You're absolutely correct. I'm not arguing that point.
Oh,
The point I'm arguing is that you can build a house on the lake with the logic that they're talking about, with a cantilever. Come out of the house,
But you couldn't knock it back. You couldn't, by code.
Yeah,
What?
You
structurally.
couldn't by code go more than 4 feet.
That's the code. Is that the code for the cantilever?
Different codes, different rules.
No, but I'm just saying. So
I don't think that's the case, but you could be right. That's why I want to check it out.
Well, the blueprint guy told me, he said that's the code. You can't go more than 4 feet because it can only be 1/3 the length of the floor joist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
May very well be our answer. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Check it, but I do want to check it out.
You're the boss.
Can't believe it's,
You guys are the boss.
What?
I says, you guys are the boss.
No.
I mean, I don't know that that's going to change my mind. If the reg says what it says and it fits according to structurally what needs to be done, waiting 3 weeks for clarification isn't going to change my vote at this point. So, I mean, I get that we have the right to push this off for 3 weeks if the applicant would like us to issue a continuance, but I don't know that we need to gum up our meetings with waiting another 3 weeks and push back his project for that. Just my 2 cents.
I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying you will okay the cantilever?
I'm only one vote.
Yeah,
but,
well, I mean, in general,
I'm only-
if you all okay it, then
If three okay.
it can go forward,
Yeah,
yeah, if you all do.
Wait until.
But if in 3 weeks you find, I'm not gonna be doing anything there in 3 weeks, so in 3 weeks, if you find out that it,
Well, when do you plan on starting your project?
well, do I get a building permit today?
Well, of course not.
No, okay, so I can't start building before I get a permit, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
weeks away,
the
right?
discussion that we were
we're
just
on-
talking about
Yeah.
in general, right?
Yeah.
Ed is requested a continuance, but what that would entail is it would push off our vote for 3 weeks, and then that's when your clock would start.
So,
Right.
so my
I
question
would,
is,
could I chime in? We do only need a majority vote, correct?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I would appreciate closing it out with an order. I know our applicant did.
so my question is, what would we be waiting for?
We just wanted some clarification, which I'd like to get either way, now that Ed's talking about it, but I don't mind voting on this and getting it.
If you vote on it,
I think
It's over. Where are you
Ed,
seeing this?
What's the clarification?
Where are you seeing this?
What's the clarification?
Well, initially it will start under the purpose of the Wetland Protection Act. For statement of jurisdiction, any activity proposed or undertaken within any area specified, which will remove, fill, dredge,
I
alter
never
an
told
area
that you were
subject to regulation, which are specifically stated as bank and under body of water.
Aren't you building a new house here?
We could ask
Aren't you
AI.
building a new house here?
The same,
You're building a new house.
We're building a new house.
this house is being new.
Yes.
Building a new house.
So that's why they're before us. That's why they have to come before us.
Right.
Because the removal of the house disturbs the buffer zone.
Yep.
But the
cantilever does not disturb the buffer zone, is the point.
Right. We don't have,
You have
for the same
jurisdiction.
reason that we actually don't have jurisdiction over algicides. They go on top of the water, not affect.
Oh, man, see, that's something I just learned. See?
I learned this.
I gotta start studying. Learn these things.
Yeah, you study for me. Give me the test answers.
I think the thing would, like, I guess we'd have to know building code better, but, I mean, we wouldn't allow someone to build within 10 feet of the water anyway, right?
Well, of course not. But-
Eric would.
We can talk about it after the meeting.
If that house was already 10 feet
He has the
within.
right.
No,
That's his attitude.
no, Ed,
I have a comment.
AI says we have jurisdiction.
What?
AI says we have jurisdiction.
AI is so, yeah, AI also wrote us a paper that
I
said
know,
that
I know,
pesticides
but,
are great for the lake.
We don't,
Yeah.
let's just,
For our, I mean,
I say let's.
We've gone around. Everybody's got an
you
opinion.
wanna,
Public comment.
The mass
But-
code
okay.
allows up to
But
one
the-
quarter of the cantilever.
Yeah,
You have to go back in. So if you have a 4-foot cantilever, you've got to go back in 60.
With the, okay, I got you.
the construction.
But the point is that we have a 25-foot no-touch
There's
and
nothing in the
and a
25.
50-foot no-build. And they're putting a cantilever in the 50-foot no-build.
above.
So that's out of my jurisdiction.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, you know. All right,
What's the precedent? Have we let decks go into the 50?
So we have, I would think we have jurisdiction.
We also just approved
a
the
structure.
cantilever deck.
yeah, well, that's,
Then I mean, I feel like if we.
Houses, like half of the houses within the 50s.
so you want to build one?
We are still 25.
I don't want to do anything. I want to enjoy where I live.
It's in any case between.
What I'm saying is-
It's nice to live in a world of black and white.
Because this
Come
is
on.
less than
Doesn't seem to make much of a difference.
Like in a regular deck, you'd have to at least put, you'd at least have to put sonotubes or something.
If it was a patio, I would agree with you. This is not a patio. It's
Sure.
it's different.
Do we allow patios within
No.
20
We
feet
can
of the?
So
condition
guys-
that We can condition the width, you know, the specification that we did with 21 long, of that this can never be covered in perpetuity, can never be an enclosed area, because that porous thing is still, with the porous gaps that are in the decking board, it's still able to infiltrate.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that.
Are you okay with that restriction?
I'm not sure what.
Never be able to enclose the 4-foot cantilever deck.
Yeah.
Never make it a 3-season or anything.
The cantilever deck, or is it part of the house?
Cantilever
Yes.
deck.
Cantilever deck.
So according, I mean, let's just assume we have jurisdiction.
It's
like
a ledge.
balcony. It's like a balcony.
Yeah, balcony.
okay.
balcony.
It's still a structure, it's part of a structure.
Part of the structure, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
But you add the stormwater, right?
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yep.
The stormwater is added, so just,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
not.
he's gonna go buy a brain barrel, apparently, too, so. Okay.
Can we force them to do that?
I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin opposed.
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay.
With regards to the project at 91 Shore Road, DP file number 300-1220, what?
What did I do with that?
Sorry, I lost my file.
1255.
1255.
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion to approve the project with the additional conditions discussed here for stormwater, and a perpetual condition of not enclosing that cantilever deck into perpetuity.
And stormwater.
Yeah. We noted it.
Right? Second?
Second here.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Goodwin opposed.
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in
He's not
favor.
there anymore?
With regards to the project at 91 Shore Road, I'd like to make a motion to approve the project under the Sturbridge Wetland Bylaw with the additional condition, huh?
Mention.
As mentioned, do we have a bond suggestion for this project? Because it is a raise and rebuild.
We did not require one for the last.
Okay.
We did not.
Private property, private.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to revisit that for future raise and rebuilds that close to the lake.
Why don't you do it now?
I personally, I'd like to see a $10,000 bond for this project. I think it's in line with,
10,000?
excuse me, 5,000. That's what we've done for other
Yeah.
projects similar to this, not 10, sorry. I'd like to see a $5,000 bond for a project similar to this. It's close to the lake. It's a complete raise and rebuild. If something goes wrong, we're going to need to get in there with some sort of mitigations. I have no expectation that anything is going to go wrong, but also it will give us the insulation if something does go wrong, that we have the funds to correct it. And I think it's a good precedent to have that insulation and protection against unforeseen circumstances.
Second?
Second here.
Second.
Yeah.
Discussion? All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin opposed.
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Does it be cash or surety bond?
Right now?
No. Nope. Don't pay it to me.
To get living.
All right. Well, congratulations. Good luck. It's a good project.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, and thanks for letting me do
We
this.
are now at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Open the public hearing for notice of
Thanks, have a good one, Mark, and everybody.
Thank you.
Do I have to do anything before I leave?
Nope.
Okay.
She'll get you everything you need,
Safe ride home.
or she'll get Zach everything you need.
Aquacasumpet Pond, Doug Vizard,
I thought you were here.
Bog
I thought you were the guy from the engineer office.
Association, Carl Nielsen, TRC. P file number not available.
The applicant has requested a continuance till May 7th, pending the issuance of a DEP file number.
Okay.
Okay. With regards to the notice of intent for South Pond, isn't that South Pond, Scott? Yeah. I'd like to make a
Sort
motion.
of. It's actually two different ponds.
Oh, lovely. Quamasquasit.
No.
Pond. I used to live on that pond. I should know that. Anyway, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing until May 3rd.
Great day.
May 7th. May 7th.
Second.
It's too hot in here. I'm just going on record as saying, if I sound loopy today, it's because it's so warm.
We put the air conditioner on?
Did you get a second?
Yeah.
Yep.
All in
Second.
favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
All right.
Also, just for clarification, buffer zone means an area of land extended 100 feet horizontally outward from the boundary of any area specified in.
What was that in reference to?
The definition of a buffer zone.
Oh, okay.
What buffer zone is horizontal.
We had that conversation about like
Yeah. tell me about
down
it.
slope, right? Yeah, because it's outward, not downward.
So now we are,
23 Old Hamilton.
what are we at?
3 Old Hamilton.
Okay. Where the hell is that?
That's the
What
beach.
page is it on?
Bottom of page
6?
Man, I went too far.
Starts at the bottom of page 6.
Yeah. Over there, Ed.
Okay. Continue the public hearing for notice of intent for 23 Old Hamilton Road. Owner applicant is Abu Baker Mahmood, Representative Joseph Bellino. Joe, are you with us?
Yes, how we doing? How you doing, Chairman of the Investor Commission?
Consultant. We have 31254 for a number. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, I have a plan that was prepared by McClure Engineering to basically show what we had talked about in the last hearing regarding a detail for the proposed staircase, a detail for the beach, a detail for the splash pad for the garage, and I think those were the things. I had thought that my client wanted to add a deck to the rear patio, but doesn't want to put a deck on the patio. It's just going to be an expanded patio, which we've already talked about. And I think there's an existing cantilever deck that has posts that anchor or rest the rear patio. We're not going to add an additional deck area on the larger rear patio. So that we're not doing. So it's basically the attached garage with the splash pad, the staircase down to the proposed beach if so approved, the enlargement of the front landing, and the enlargement of the rear patio. So that's essentially the project. But as we all know, we lost a dear colleague and friend in Joe Levesque, and that's really, really sad and tragic. And I certainly I've been praying for him and his family during these difficult times. Very, very tragic. I actually had a chance to speak with him a couple times in the month of February as he's working he's taking a position working for Chris McClure Engineering, and unfortunately didn't get to complete the plan. McClure does a fantastic job. I do work for them, and I think they did a real nice job with the plan. And I'm hoping that it contains enough information so that we can issue an order of conditions to my client, Dr. Manu, for these activities. So if anyone has any questions on the new plan that we have, which was at a pretty significant expense to my client, but that's okay. We want to do it right, and we want to appease the Conservation Commission and make sure that you're all satisfied with what we're doing. And it's all well documented. Got Chris's stamp on the plan. So I feel comfortable and confident that we have a good project that is formidable, and I'm hoping that the commission issues an order of condition. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Are we looking for a continuation here?
With an order of conditions, right?
No. Are they? Was that the request?
He's asking for an order of conditions.
Joe, are you looking for a continuation?
No, I'm asking for no conditions. I think we have addressed everything that was raised previously. We've got engineered plans that show the detail of the stairs. I know that was an issue that required some more information, and I was in agreement. And so, we did that. We have a detail. We have a detail for the splash pad. We have a detail for the beach. I think it's a good project, and I'm hopeful for more conditions. I do not want to continue this. Please.
The sand area a lot bigger than it was before,
Yeah. What?
but it's lower, right?
Yeah, it's
The beach
closer to the
area
water.
is different place, isn't it?
I thought actually, I
The
got
beach
confused.
area
It's
is in a
very
different
different.
place. It's
So-
a very different.
Joe, can I ask you a question? Hello?
What
Joe?
was that?
Can I ask you a question? I think
Of course you
last time we talked about maybe that the beach area is the thing that would create trouble for us, and as far as I remember, it was a kind of small beach area around here, And to make life easier for us, you just increase the beach area, as far as I can see.
And I think it's closer to
And
the.
it's much closer to the
It's
beach,
basically at the
and so
edge.
you have to dig into the, hill there to make it the beach.
We're not, yeah, we're not proposing any digging, just maybe clearing some brush or grass if it's pretty scrub vegetation
So
down.
what they're trying to
down
say is
there.
the plan that we're looking at shows the sand beach on the shoreline, not where it was being observed in the previous plan.
Well, I think it's kind of where there's already kind of like an existing area that's kind of cleared out. There's not much vegetation.
If you look at the plan that's before us, the plan that was prepared by McClure, it says sand beach area right at the wetland flagging along the shoreline. It is no longer in the location that's slightly upslope from where we were looking at before.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
Is that the intention?
Yeah, I mean, if, as I had said previously, you know, if this is an area, if this is an issue that, you know, the commission is, I know it wasn't a very popular item as far as one of the items that we were looking to do. But what I asked McClure to do was to provide an area and a detail on how to construct it, which has a PD standpoint plan. So I'm comfortable with that. I think it is in a different area, but it is the plan that was submitted, and it is the plan that, you know, is before the commission. So,
Sure.
what I would ask is that, that the commission consider, you know, approving what we propose in the notice of intent. At the very least, if this is an issue that, well, I'd like to discuss it maybe a little bit further, but if it's an issue that is a sticking point, then, you know, perhaps we can look at the other, if there are no issues with the other activities or work that we're proposing, then, you know, I can speak to my client and ask for a brief recess, and if we agree on the other activity, then maybe we'll go forward without constructing the beach. You know, we'll do that at another time. So,
I think I'm okay with
But
that.
Joe, what
I'm
exactly?
okay with that.
Excuse me, but what exactly do you want to do with this beach area? Do you want to put in 3 tons of sand there, or
Down
what?
below, this is the detail right
No,
here.
no.
So if you read to the left, it has the beach area construction notes with the
3/4 to
size.
6 inches of clean sand. Over an area of.
Where do you see the beach area?
What's the area, Joe?
If you
Beach area
go
construction,
over, up and down, there's the
okay.
notes right there.
Oh, okay,
That's where
okay,
the beach
all right,
area-
sorry, I
there's the
missed that.
notes.
All right.
And if it's scale, it's 30 scale, so it's maybe 40 feet. 40 feet. I don't. Again, it's not that we're going to excavate a dig. So it's all explained in detail. It's a typical detail that they used, that they've used on projects that had, you know, beach areas proposed. So that's what they put on the plan.
Have we ever done this before?
So, Joe, I want to be very clear because I feel like we're talking past each other, and I don't know that I can be any less blunt than this. What we have been asking for is something that is not going to create a disturbance inside of the 25-foot no touch. We always had the concern around the beach as it was constructed, and what was brought back to us was an expansion of the footprint of the beach closer to the wetland, and that there's no way under any operation and maintenance plan that we're going to keep sand out of Cedar Lake and cause bigger problems for ourselves based on what we're seeing here. So I think I think based on where we have come in this conversation over a period of, I think we're 4 months into this conversation, I don't know that I can get myself comfortable with any type of beach It's especially if what the proposal's going to be is we're going to go 50% bigger and closer to the lake. That's not a give back here. That's more of a, well, fine, I'll put it on an engineered plan, but I'm gonna ask for even more than what my original ask was on the drawn plan. Right? This doesn't look like anybody's listening to what our real concerns are, which is we don't want sand inside of 25 feet of this wetland.
I think we should just take it off, if that's what he just asked. I think Joe said he'd be okay with us taking that off.
Yeah.
So, I would ask that. I'm comfortable with as I said before, if the commission will approve the garage, the patio, the front landing, and the steps, then we'll remove the beach. We won't build a beach for another day. Is that okay? Is that something the commission would consider? And I remember speaking, Mr. Chairman, that you said that might be something that the commission more apt.
Well, that's what he's asking.
Versus the issue.
How do we feel about everything else?
What?
Yeah,
How do we
let's
feel about
go.
everything else?
Let's pull the beach off of the table because that's going to just get us in a swirl.
Okay.
How's everybody feel about the stairs?
Stairs look,
The stairs look good.
yeah, the stairs look good.
All
I think
right.
they don't meet the
Slide back, just,
pattern of the walkway we went.
You don't think they do?
Well, they don't, but they're direct.
There's
Isn't
still
that
the enforcement order result.
what? Can we fold the enforcement order into the order of conditions and put that it needs to be, the cleanup needs to be done before any
The
construction
enforcement order
activity
was,
starts?
The outstanding item for that was verification of
Oh, the
the need to
plantings.
survive.
I will personally inspect the property and make sure that we're in compliance with the order in terms of the, and we're committed to removing any debris piles. That will be removed, and feel free if you want to put it in the order of conditions. We're more than happy to. We'll do it. My client will do it, and I will certainly monitor or give I can write a whole status report on plantings and things, and I can drop that off to the commission. Sometime this spring, we have to do that.
Okay.
So,
the only problem, Joe, is it wasn't done before.
We can do that
Was there
through
anything stopping?
Well, he didn't.
a surety bond.
He didn't have me before, so.
I know that, but
And so I'll make sure that gets done.
In order
I'd just like
to get
I'd
the
like to be able to move forward with
enforcement
these-
order,
with
Lauren,
these projects for his home.
what type of surety bond do we need to ensure ourselves that if we do
And we're okay if we
inside of
we
an
don't get
order
the
of
beach,
conditions?
we're fine with that.
So the thing with the surety bonds, and I had this discussion with Luke too, is it would require, if we're using the surety bond, use of the surety bond would mean the town is executing a project, use that fund to correct whatever action. We cannot do it on private property or on a private road. So as far as a surety bond for this specific case, it would be the site washes out and we have to spend a surety bond to dredge Cedar Lake to get debris out. But that's why the surety bonds are so iffy, because we can't go in and say, well, your plantings didn't survive, so we're going to use this $5,000 surety to go plant all the things you were supposed to. It's private property, so we can't do that. So that's why
Well,
the
but they
surety
can't
is
get their
tough.
5,000 They can't get their $5,000 back or whatever it is without going ahead and doing
Without
it.
a certificate of compliance.
Right, that's what the plus is. Maybe we can't do it, but if we put a surety in there that is greater than the assessed value of what it would be to get that done, then the applicant is motivated to get their money back. And especially in a situation like this where it clearly hasn't been done, I would probably recommend that we go double what we would normally do just to ensure compliance.
So if you were looking to do it based off the value of the required plantings, I'd have to go back to the restoration plan and put together an estimate based off of those individual plantings.
Okay.
Or we can do it on the whole project.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I
We would add it into the order of conditions, but we would enforce it through the application of a surety bond to ensure compliance, because until it's done, he can't come and ask for his money.
And especially in this situation where there is a history of enforcement action.
Right.
Right.
Trust but verify.
Right.
So I would say that,
Make it 10,000.
and I know, Joe, you want an approved order of conditions here, but I think we need to, the only way that we're gonna get this enforcement order cleared is by having a proper assessment of what kind of bond we need, in order to move that forward.
Can we just say $10,000?
Would that cover it, do you feel?
I would probably cover it.
Would 5 cover it? I want double, my ask would be double.
Off
what
the
it-
top of my head, I don't remember how many.
10,000 seems.
I have to look at the restoration plan.
5,000 would cover what they were planting.
5,000 will cover what they're planting, so if we ask for 10, that's double, and would give an incentive to the applicant to make sure it gets done,
Sounds like.
right?
I would agree with that.
I have a last question. I mean, last time, what is the plan now for the staircase? You had 2 options. Which one did you decide on?
Well, we're not doing it though. The deck is off the table,
You don't
he's
have,
not doing it deck in the patio, it's just enlarging the rear patio.
you don't have pictures? There was, oh, this one. Okay, this one. Okay, yeah.
The staircase will come right off the rear patio.
Okay.
beginning of the-
Okay, sounds good, yeah. Yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure that was the.
Yep.
There's also no erosion controls shown on the plan still, so, what would you want to see? There aren't any erosion controls on the plan, so what the commission would want to see.
The standard ones, which one do you would like? Lauren?
How deep are the posts going in the stairs? It doesn't say.
I would probably defer that to whoever's constructing the stairs. I would assume, 3 feet, 2 or 4 feet to be safe. But it's just a single hole. It's not a, you have to pour the cement and then anchor
We don't
the
want to
post.
presume, though. We want to know.
There's not a quote or a plan for the stairs that's been provided, Joe?
He doesn't have a contract yet.
Oh,
So we've got about approximately 19 posts. Well, times 2, so we 38 posts on each side.
It's the same thing.
Not including the landing, it's a double landing at the top, right off the deck. right off the patio.
let's assume they're
21
going
times
down.
2, 42. I'm counting 42 posts.
So what are we gonna need for erosion control?
Yeah, not counting.
And are
Wattle back
We have to,
and silt
they
fence.
have to give us this.
Where
We're at a
where
point.
would you want us to put erosion controls? I mean,
Why would we
Eric,
want?
We can't,
you want us to put them,
we don't
you
know.
want us to put them close to the, maybe 10 feet up from the,
You know, you're right. Everything in this project's been pulling teeth.
Yeah, I know.
don't anticipate any erosion, but, I mean, I can do that, if that's what the
I-
commission
No.
desires.
I think we are going a little bit backwards with the project. So there are a lot of things that are missing and changed from this one. Could we ask to get all that information and
Right.
have a continuation?
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
So we want, what do we want on the stairs so we can give Joe
I think we need
specifics?
the continuance, I think.
Right, but what are we asking for him to bring back? In fairness. So
How
we're,
deep, how wide?
how deep, how wide,
How
right?
much?
How many?
Yeah.
Right, according to this, you would say 42, but is that accurate? Yeah, so for the staircase, Joe, the picture is nice, but we need the specifics around it, and so we can fully assess this plan.
All
I
right?
mean, what are you looking for, a cross-section of, you know, a different view of?
We need to know how this staircase is intended to be installed. All we see is a staircase following the grade, but no details on how it's going to be how it's going to be constructed, how it's how much impact there's going to be on that slope as the gravel comes out of the ground. What machinery is going to be required to auger those down? Is it going to be hand augered? Is it going to be with a piece of machinery? If so, what is that machinery? There's no detail here, and I'm not trying to be difficult, but the concept of that straight line stair, I think you have me. I think that makes sense, but there's very light on the detail on how that's going to get done, and there's some pretty significant impact that we need to account for on the installation of those stairs. This isn't just a small thing that we're doing.
So we'd like a continuation. We'd like you to put together that information for the continuation.
Does anybody else want anything else on the
Yeah.
on
Do
the
you
on
want
the
to
stairs?
discuss
And we
the
definitely
beach,
don't
that if you're
want to
gonna
see a
entertain it
beach.
or not, or should they strike it from the plan?
Better to strike it.
And strike this.
Strike
yeah.
the beach, like.
Strike the beach from the
And no
plan.
beach.
If you want to get this done quick.
And,
Too late. He said if he wants to get this done quick, and I said, well, too late.
The sedimentation, like the barriers.
Yeah.
Does the commission want me to submit something to address the enforcement order? So that's really no longer an outstanding issue?
Verification of the plantings based on the restoration plan.
Yeah.
How long have they been in?
There's a plan, Joe. You go out and take a look and see if the plantings are there.
Well, they should be up to,
Has Joe been supplied a copy of the plan?
I don't believe so, not unless Frank.
I don't think I have one.
What'd you say, Joe?
I don't think I have a copy of the plan,
Okay.
any restoration.
I'll try and get that for you.
I don't know who prepared it, but,
We
so I
don't
just
need-
want to be clear, if we're going to continue with this, all you're looking for is a detail on the steps, on the staircase, how many posts, how we're going to install the posts, and how wide the staircase is going to be, is that?
Erosion control.
We need a construction narrative to go along with that as
So
well.
I have written down, show the erosion control on the plan with detail regarding the stair posts, how deep they're going, how wide the posts are, how many there are, how the posts will be augered in the equipment, the construction sequence, and removal of the beach, and then, of course, doing the verifications of the plantings required under the restoration. Did I miss anything?
And that he comes in and meets on site here for the meeting when we have it, rather than,
Require that.
What?
Legally, we can't require that because
Yeah, we
the state
can.
law has hybrid.
I'm
allows for hybrid.
requiring it. Because the communication hasn't been good. We need to improve it.
I think state law trumps.
Well,
so on the
show me the
garage,
state law. What?
on the garage, is there anything else on this? So we can just have them,
No.
like, we're happy with, I'm not saying we're happy,
Yeah.
but there's nothing else he needs to bring us other than on the deck
It's the heat.
or the stairs going
Was,
down.
was there anything on the garage that you flagged,
No,
Lauren?
they addressed everything on the garage,
Okay.
and they addressed the
the wood-
question about if
Yeah.
a deck was going over the concrete.
Yeah.
He needs to get that wood out of there, whatever, and just, we need to make sure the mitigation plantings are set,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So is there anything holding him back from getting the wood taken care of before we meet again?
No.
No,
No, so
never was.
But I mean, but there never was, but I'm just saying, you might want to mention to your client, it'd be a good time to clean up the property as well. Like, and get that kind of
clean up
taken
that
care
stone
of.
debris, clean up the.
But you don't have to do this ever again, Joe, because I feel for you on this. So,
Yeah, I mean, I just, my client just wants to be able to improve his property, I mean.
sure, but I mean, but he needs to get that, if that wood pile, the debris is not taken care of, that might be something that slows him down for that too.
Okay, I'll reiterate that to him.
Yeah.
And I'll get the construction details for the stairs for you. And those other issues, erosion controls. Again, I would ask.
And no beach.
I mean, if we were doing, you know, more earthwork on the slope or any type of project, the only thing that we're really going to be doing any significant earthwork is the garage addition. So I would think if we put erosion controls at the top, you know, the top of slope where the garage is being constructed, I think that would make the most sense. I'm not so sure that putting a whole line of straw wattles at the toe of the slope is really going to do anything. Basically, all they're doing is just pulling or digging holes to posts. But if the commission wants, they can add a detail of a straw wattle, you know, say, 25 feet on either side of the staircase. Is that something that sounds like you'd be looking for?
I think we need the erosion control during construction, right?
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
don't
that's what I'm
want
saying.
Yes, I think that would make sense.
That'll be fine,
And
Joe.
at the next meeting, have somebody say, well, we need this or we need that. I just want to make sure that, you know, I'll add erosion controls at the top where the garage is being constructed. And I'll add a small area of, say, straw wattles, 25 feet on either side of the center line of the stairs. I think that should be more than adequate because there's no
Sounds
other
good.
work proposed, so there's really no risk.
We don't even need that much.
I just want to make sure that
You
that
probably only
makes
need
sense.
12 and a half.
End up a month from now saying, oh, no, that's not what we wanted, we want this. So I just want to be clear, that's all.
Yeah.
Great.
We want it clear too, Joe. Yeah. So, all right, cool. Well, sorry, Joe. I know this has been a trial
Yeah,
for you,
tough one.
and I know this is.
And the last one, Joe, that I had said, it's hard to hear you. I don't know what your system is, but if you could come in for the meeting the next time so we can get this thing done, it would be appreciated.
Or call
Okay.
on the
When's the
phone.
next meeting?
May 7th. Would you like a continuance until May 7th? Can you have the updates to the plans by the 30th?
Yep, I'll get that.
Okay. All right.
Continuation of May 7th,
Yes, I'll make that motion.
okay? Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
San German in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Continue the public hearing, notice of intent for 51 Bennett's Road. The owner applicant is Jim Ferguson, representative is Glenn Kravosky, EBT, environmental consultant, 300-1246, proposed project. Hi, Glenn, how you doing?
Good day, Conservation Commission. Good day, Ed. Thank you. I do have just a couple copies to share with you. This is just basic. Thank you. So, thank you, Ed. As we know, it's been a while. Joe originally did this work, and then there was, I believe the last time we were in front of you, was to come up with mitigation. I'm sure that there's other things, but this is what I recall. Come up with mitigation for the patio that was put in when you told him not to put it in. I explained to him, we did talk about that there's ledge right there. We show you, I believe we showed you the ledge. There's right inside the foundation, inside it's no ledge. The tight tank, they had to bang the soil in the ledge in order to put the tight tanks in. So this is not a septic system, unless you call the tight tank a septic system. There's no leach field. So it's a summer cottage for this gentleman. He lives in Worcester permanently. Looking at the property for mitigation that was brought up, I believe, Ed, and I'm not putting any words in your mouth, but I believe it was that you were looking for more mitigation. So Mr. Ferguson was stating, geez, I don't know where you're going to put it, but we went down there, and there, as you know, it's mountain laurel and shrubs, black birch, witch hazel. Right off of the house, there's a slope, and that's still vegetated, except for the stairs going down to the water. At the lower tier, it is grass and moss, and then you have a retaining wall on the lake. He's storing his aluminum boat launch area as we're facing the lake on the left. And above that, there's 2 stumps. And those 2, and I asked them, there's a eastern hemlock and also a red maple, and I was concerned that they might have come down without a permit. They're older, and he said, no, I got a permit to take those down. So what I'm looking to do, at least in mitigation, is to plant black gum tupelo and red maple where those stumps are and restrict the use of that slope where he has the kayaks and the stumps, so that the kayaks, if they're going to store them in the winter out there, they'd have to be stored in the tier itself, not up on that slope. And if we look at the plan, we do have, I'm sorry, we didn't get this first, there's some locations for those Forsythia change out, and then where the stumps are that you're seeing in the photo. I know they're not that clear, but there's stumps there. We would, again, replace those and then restrict any use of that slope and keep everything that he has just on the lower tier, as I just explained. The Forsythia, it's not a big deal, but there's no exotic invasives on this lot per se to change out. So I'm looking at putting in something in that the pinkster flower is fragrant. It grows a little bit up gradient of your clammy azalea. Bees do use it, and I have some at my property. They make a perfume out of it. There's a perfume with the same smell. Not that it's not it's just a fragrant plant, and around lakes you see it. Not as common again as clammy azalea either. But it is native to your town, it's native to this area. You could do clammy azalea, it's just that it requires a little bit more moisture. Pinkster will just go a little bit more towards that fat end.
Within all this detail, where are you going?
I'm going on mitigation that you asked for.
Mitigation?
Mitigation for the patio that he put in on ledge.
What about mitigating it out?
Mitigating what? The patio? Well, you could ask for that. You didn't ask for it the last time. You asked for mitigation planting, and that's what we looked for.
Yeah, I didn't hear the word planting for mitigation.
The patio's on ledge, so it didn't increase runoff. That's one point I'm gonna make. And look at the distance away from the lake is. Okay. I'm working to improve the vegetation on the property, and the patio. If we're looking at
mitigating factor for the fact that he ignored us completely.
I totally yelled at him over that, Ed, today, matter of fact, and I told him, big boy, slow down, okay? What am I gonna tell my client? So, I'm here only to talk about what we hope to offer, and let's see, my 50-foot zone. We see the 100, obviously. Why didn't Joe give me, I'm sorry, I'm a little slow here, hold on. I know I'm getting to it.
You're like somewhere around the 70.
Okay, there's the 25, there we go, there's the 50, it's in green, or at least on a colored plan.
Yeah.
So the patio, the concrete patio is outside the 50, and everything, and he didn't do anything within the 50. But we're proposing to, again, do more planting. In fact, initially, until I found out that those trees were permitted, I think there's room for 2 black gum tupelo, 2-inch caliper, and also a couple of red maples down below. Facing the water, they would be on the left, up on that slope. And then there's the Forsythia. And because I can't do infiltration on ledge, that's the only reason why we looked for mitigation, and you did ask for mitigation. So that's all I want to say about that point. So that's what we're asking for. I think the other side of the road, I could be wrong, Lauren, I think we were close, if not there, on the other side of the road. This ledge, there was some question about blasting. If we look at the ledge face that's there, it's fractured. It's a metamorphic fractured rock. It can be banged. It's not a
So there's probably water leaking through that?
There's,
and there isn't on the other side
it's
of the road?
tightly fractured.
I'm
not saying
it one way or the other.
A minimum water leaks through this, any ledge.
Right.
Well, no, I was in Lancaster once, and it was some major fractured ledge, and you could almost put a septic in it.
Right.
because it was that fractured. But it was rotted. It was one of those rotting ledges, a lot of iron in it. But no, this is solid enough. There's always going to be water in ledge. That's where our deep wells get their water. It comes through the fractures. So there is some infiltration, but it's, well, that's why you go down 400 feet or something sometimes to make sure you
Put
get
a
enough
cement
water.
slab and said that there's no problem.
I'm not saying there's no problem, because it is your jurisdiction. It's within 200 feet of the water body. And he shouldn't have put it in, and I think Lauren or somebody told him not to do it, and he did do it. That all came up at earlier meetings.
Yeah.
So
You'd already talked to him about it before he did it?
Yeah.
I think so, right?
He had an enforcement order for some tree removal and some other stuff that we did. We finally closed the enforcement order, and I had said, if you are doing anything on your property, because your whole property's in buffer zone, call me first. Don't do anything without permission. Then I drive by one day and saw a concrete patio with a fireplace and said,
Okay.
So,
And a nice pergola.
so if I could, that's a little bit more information than I didn't have. I thought it was like directly, of course, don't do anything within 100, don't do
that was
anything within
multiple
200,
strikes.
period.
That was
That-
multiple
but-
strikes.
Some people don't.
He interpreted it one way, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, he was up above, and yes, he has a grill inside this pad, this concrete.
Everybody sees things a little bit differently.
Well, it's wrong. We can't argue that point. If he wasn't in Alaska, I'd have his butt here.
So,
Go ahead.
no, go. I'm good.
So now where are we going, all right, you're not going to bring the barn before us tonight?
I think we worked on the barn. That's why I asked a minute ago how much what was the last discussion on the barn? We showed you the trees that were coming down. We did pull the erosion control barrier in the work zone behind the barn closer to the barn, garage.
See, I was under the impression
Yes, sir.
that we were going to, we were out there standing there, and it was in the snow. And you said you were going to mark the trees.
They're on the plan.
They're on the plan, and we were going to have a site visit at that point in time. Go back out there and look at it.
I'm ready for a continuance to go look at the trees. I'm serious.
Okay.
Let's we after any other questions come up, but if we could set up a site inspection.
Well, actually, that'd be very helpful, because I'm having difficulty
Yes, sir.
envisioning what your mitigation is.
Let's go see
Like,
it.
I, in concept, I understand what you're saying, but I'm having difficulty visualizing the property and what you're saying these trees would go. And, I mean, thankfully, they're down front, so thumbs up there. But if you're open to a continuance, I say we continue it, we get on property, and we deal with both things at the same time.
This is my 7th hearing this week from all over the state. I'm happy for a continuance, because to me, it's just another project that I work to get through.
Yeah.
So let's go look at it, hash this thing out again.
Do you have a final plan? I thought the
I
barn
think-
was coming down in size.
It's hard to get Joe to put any trees on this plan. But I can get somebody to take if we can get the CAD file, or I'm going to modify the plan and I'll put those trees specifically where they are. What I used today was just, we triangulated and we looked at photos, I took a lot of them, so that we put where these 3 things are in there. But let's go look at them, and then we can maybe get some more compaction of trees in there, and also keep the guy off the slope, because he has enough room at the lower tier. That's all I'm going to say about that. So now we get one more area that's not altered by man. I know that's what you're looking for on the lake, I believe. There's also some cinder blocks in the lake, but I'm doing.
He's also got a pile of wood on his neighbor's property.
There's also that con box over there, whatever it's called, the military con.
I asked him to
Convex,
clean that up.
That steel thing.
Yeah.
You want to see the steel thing out of there. I work for my client, I work for the law, I work with the law. The box needs to go. I'll make a point to get the cotton picking box out if we can get it out before your next meeting.
Sure.
Or before the site visit.
Or before the site visit, if we can get it out. He's got the equipment. I'm here to move things through.
Yeah, okay, good.
And not give away my client's world either, but I don't think I know we're not. He did something, we're gonna give something back, we're gonna go look at the garage. Please, let's go out there and see it, so we can maybe move at the next meeting.
Sounds good. You all right with that?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do that.
let's do it.
I think we're close. Hope.
Good.
I think so.
I think we're a long ways away. I think it's
Oh, yeah, I know, you always say that, though.
Can we,
Don't, we just.
Glenn, do you think that we can get a site visit in 2 weeks?
Oh, yes.
When we do our site?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So a continuation until.
I request a
the
continuation.
sounds good.
Or, you know, I mean, part of this is somewhat challenging, as we probably could have said that a little bit kinder. We don't have the ability to update this plan, you know, as it is. So,
I love Joe.
we
You're gonna love
probably
that.
need to figure out a way to have it updated or visualized. So, but that's another conversation. But
Thank you.
the simple fact of the matter is, if we have a site walk in 2 weeks, I don't think you're probably likely going to be able to update any type of plan for the following week. So should we table this for 2 meetings, have the site walk before our next meeting, so it gives you plenty of time to address and update the
Thank
plans
you, sir.
accordingly? Does that seem
Yes,
reasonable?
I'm sorry if I was a little crass on that.
So would that be the 28th of May? So I'd like to make a motion to have a site walk before the next meeting, but have our next continuation on this project for the 28th of May.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
May,
So,
5/28?
continuation?
5/28.
Thank
You're
you.
agreeing to a continuation.
I'm asking for a continuation, please.
You have a proposal for a continuation?
I made the motion.
Okay, second.
One, floor, second? Yep.
All right, any discussion on it? Seeing none, all in favor?
Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Everyone in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor. I won't be here on Monday.
Thank you.
You won't be here on the 28th? Where are you going?
Rome.
Oh, well, that's a good excuse.
Well, that's a good
You can sit outside of a coffee house in Rome, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
no excuses.
I did it in Crete.
It's gonna be late.
Hey,
that's awesome.
It's not bad.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Glenn.
and Joe was the
Great.
best. We
Yep.
all know that.
Yep,
Thank
nope,
you.
yep.
Thank you.
It's 2 a.m. or
Yeah,
something.
well, good day. Good evening.
It's so hot.
All right.
Thank you.
Onward and
Thank you.
upward. We are now looking at,
We don't have it official yet.
Not yet.
I'll call you, right? Thank you.
additional wetland decisions.
Is there a specific project you're waiting for?
Yes, number 11.
Oh,
All right,
Do you mind jumping?
let's do number 11.
So, like, sit up here.
This one's pretty quick and easy. It's a 43 Mountain Brook request for certificate of compliance. This was a second floor addition. No alteration to the ground or landscape, no expansion, no modifications to impervious surfaces. The deck has the same outline. No perpetual conditions, no reporting requirements. Recommendation issue a certificate of compliance if the applicant has anything to add to that.
I was forced to buy it.
Your wife, I'm going to guess.
No,
Oh,
Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts.
oh.
Elected to allow a developer to put a hotel 10 feet from my house.
Oh.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, looking right into my house.
Good.
So the next morning I said goodbye, and 2 days later, a neighbor bought it. And then I had to do a 1031 exchange, and I had to find something fast. What a beautiful town.
Well, welcome to Sturbridge.
welcome to
I'm a
Sturbridge.
voter here now.
I got on a
Twice.
Chappie every,
Town meeting
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
I've already been told, town meeting in 2 weeks. I can't wait.
Well, then I will say, welcome to our beautiful town. I would like, with regards to the project at 43 Mountain Brook Road, DP file number 300-0937, I'd like to make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance.
Second.
do I have a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
And German in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Thank you.
Thank
What a
you.
life.
And
Sorry you had to wait for that.
And we generally have openings for plenty of boards and committees around town, so if you're looking for something to do in your free time, go talk to
So-
Robin Grimm.
You don't want to hear the rest. I sold a house in November on a farm. I'm building a house on the same piece of property. I sold the house on the vineyard. I bought the house here. And if I don't finish that house in Southampton, my wife's gonna kill me.
Well, once
luck
you
to
get
you.
that done,
Godspeed.
then we have
Yes,
boards and
I-
committees for you to
This- I
join.
love the town. It's, everybody I've met here has been
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Until tonight,
Hi.
right?
Yeah.
You guys are good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Request for certificate of compliance for 30 River Road, continue. All right?
Tabled.
We're
Table.
tabling this till May 28th. DEP is doing their site visit to close out the superseding order of conditions, and I asked if we can just tag along for that, so she'll let me know when she schedules that, to look at the site together. We briefly discussed the pond and kind of were on the same page there, so we'll wait for that site visit.
All right? We're on Bennett's Road. Get that, right?
Sorry?
3?
53, we don't have to.
Oh, we can do that.
Why?
That was 51.
Oh, okay, I'm
53
sorry.
we can do.
Yeah, you're right.
It's close,
Close.
but yeah. Anything of note?
New well and holding tank, ground stable grown over.
Alright.
Perpetual conditions noted.
With regards to the project at 53 Bedens Road, DEP file number 300-1157, I'd like to make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance with the perpetual conditions of 43 through 46.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
And German in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay, request for certificate of compliance for 268 Big Alum Road.
This was construction for a new single-family home. The project was not done.
Why is it listed as table until May 7th?
I thought we were waiting on an as-built, but we're not waiting on an as-built because they never started it.
So we're going to issue
So there's nothing
a
to build. It's a certificate of compliance for work never done. I would like to carry the perpetual conditions, though, because they do state for the no dumping, no pesticides, herbicides, those standard things that are basically under the bylaw.
With regards to the project 268 Big Allen Road, DEP file number 300-1030, I'd like to issue a certificate of compliance for work never done with the perpetual conditions of 47 through 50.
Second.
Just feels weird.
Discussion, is that okay? Work never done?
Yeah.
Or we're not putting ourselves in a...
No, that's a checkbox on the form. We've done them many times.
All right, all in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
And German in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
All right. Certificate of compliance
This
for
doesn't happen.
179 Main Street, DP file number 300-1042.
So this was for parking lot improvements, including drainage, the back section of the lot behind Teddy G's, that whole complex there. There was a lot that was going on for a period of time, and it does appear that work was constructed the way that it was supposed to. There may have been some holdups around COVID when it was built in 2020. I took our fabulous DPW director and assistant DPW director out to the site to help me get a second look and everything, and it really just looks like they built it and then have not maintained it since.
Oh.
So if you go through the inspection photos, everything, there's an extensive amount of growth that's going on the.
Go.
Ooh. They didn't build anything. It was the parking lot and drainage.
Just the parking lot.
Yeah,
okay.
but they had to put this. Remember,
Yeah.
the Blueberry residents were coming over here in Farquhar, and there was a ton of sheet flow coming off of that and
Yeah.
making it even worse over there.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what was going on
yeah.
at the time.
So this is what the back looks like. It's all just completely overgrowth. This is the plow pile that pushed up the swale, and it's basically like this all the way around. Just very, very poorly maintained. I actually have to loop. So my recommendation is for the commission to actually deny the issuance of a certificate of compliance, so I can write a denial letter. And the recommendation will be to have them hire someone to go in, clean out the stormwater systems, get rid of all of that brush overgrowth along the back, so we can look at it again and, you know, do the cleanup like they're supposed to. I have to loop our town planner into this because there's some requirements on that obviously were not met, like directional signs. I have to loop our Board of Health into that because I'm concerned with the grease trap situation. There's some things on the plan that just generally didn't make sense, but it's the approved plan, so.
You had me
Try
at
to
a
see where we
motion
can modify it.
to deny.
So, yeah, so that's my recommendation.
Oh, look at that.
All right, with regards to the project at 179 Main Street, DP file number 300-1042, I'd like to make a motion to deny the issuance of a certificate of compliance.
All right.
And would like,
Do I have a second?
do we need to talk about perpetual? That's it, right? Because we're not approving anything. Okay.
So second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Gooder in favor.
And German in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Request for a certificate of compliance for 82 Paradise Lane.
So, this was a raise and rebuild on Paradise. Mostly done according to plan. There was some confusion with the plan, so everything looks stable. The plantings are exactly where they're supposed to be, and all of that. However, this area by the shore, the plan says that it's supposed to be natural buffer. It's a very large natural buffer. However, it's mulch instead of natural buffer. There's also a shed that's been moved down here, which the shed cannot stay for multiple reasons. One, it's just hovering over the property line. So aside from the fact that it's a new structure in the 25-foot buffer that was not approved, it also doesn't meet zoning requirements. So I don't know what the plan is. They need to explore that and get back to me with what they want to do to either... It has to move back, in my opinion, no matter what. Or they have to completely get rid of it. But to meet the setbacks, they might have to get zoning board approval as well. So the shed's something that I want them to come back and say what their plan is. As far as the vegetation in the front with the mulch, it's not a negative impact, and the vegetation is there, although I would like to see some more vegetation because there's 2 or 3 plants that look a little bit iffy, and they're on board to plant more. But I want to know what the commission thinks about the mulch. This is not the big problem. This is not the other one that we had lots of issues with.
88?
This is 82.
82.
Is that the one that we...
So we're denying, right?
No, I need to know what you want them to do to correct this. So they,
We have the original plans of what was agreed to for the plantings down there?
So they must just think that
Yes.
natural means they can use.
Yeah.
exactly, they were confused, but they misunderstood what the plan meant.
And what could they use right there?
I mean, because the area says that it's supposed to kind of just be something that's not managed. So it's just mulch, which, like I said, it's not having a negative impact. The erosion controls are there, but it's not what I knowing this commission, that's not what they had intended for.
Well, but also, bark mulch is, once that erosion control comes out, you're gonna get sheet
run
flow.
in.
That's gonna run right into, we've always intended to things, if it's like that, to naturalize
And we're okay with that?
and just be left alone.
So we need the shed removed and a plan to stabilize the,
Well, do you want to stabilize the mulch area, remove the mulch, convert to grass, which would just be a bigger disturbance right now because they'd be exposing a bunch of stuff that's already settled?
But once they pull, they gotta eventually pull that.
But the mulch will
I know.
always be...
I know.
Is that crushed stone okay?
Yeah, the crushed stone was on the plan.
It was on the plan to have crushed stone right there? Okay.
Was that the house where the parents built it for their kids?
I feel like we should That's 3/4. I feel like we should be telling them to make it bigger, crushed stone.
You could have them do some type of like a wood barrier to prevent the mulch from running off.
But
I
even
mean,
if-
it is a landscaped area, so it's not being utilized as a recreational area.
Yeah, but this,
But I don't think that's what, and like I said, all the shrubs and everything that are on there are exactly where they're supposed to be to the plan.
If that stone was
But-
bigger, because that looks like it's 3/4. I mean, if it was like 1.5 inches or even a riprap or something, it could hold back that better. And I just feel like that stone, if you walked on it, it would push out of the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's what we said to put
And even
3/4.
even after the,
I'm okay because if
after a
that's what we
couple
said.
years, that if they don't add new mulch, that mulch will break down and eventually,
I think
Go
they
in,
should
but-
put grass there.
I mean,
The other house.
I think they should put grass in
can you tell them they have to sod it?
No, you don't want grass next to the lake.
Why?
My biggest problem though is
Because
just
they'll
the
fertilize.
3/4 inch stone. Is that something we say, like we're okay with that stone?
But look at all the other houses there.
Is that what you look
And
at?
that's what I'm saying, I don't want to bother them about it.
They're a
but, like,
real
for future,
follower.
I feel like that's something
He
we
must be
should
a
just
German.
add. You know what I'm trying to
So
say?
what do you want to put there?
Well, I wanted to goose step around, put some plants in.
they did do that. The plantings are exactly what the plan was.
Put
The
more.
species and whatnot. I did recommend adding more because, anyway, and they're on board with adding more.
I think
But
it's a
what
good
do you want to
idea.
do about the mulch?
But Nick said too, I think they should slide in there with some a larger size stone and just kind of go along there and fill that in.
Is that
So
gonna
maybe
keep that
go-
mulch from
Help
ending
that
up
mulch
at?
from.
It would keep what would happen is it would just come into the stone a little bit, whereas now I'm just concerned, you walk on it, that stone's gonna push, and that's not a stable size of stone to have there. You know what I mean?
Right, I agree.
We didn't say it, so I don't want to like punish them for not. It's almost like the whole thing. This is how I'm looking at it. Is the mulch is too small of wood? So you could have said we want wood chips or larger pieces of wood. Do you know what I'm trying to say? In a sense, that would almost work because then it would keep like the weeds down. It would keep the plants fine. If it was a bigger, like almost like wood chips, you know what I'm saying? It would denitrify a little bit as it went, but I feel like everything in that area is just smaller than it needs to be. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Almost exactly what's going on with the stone is going
So
on
if
with the
they
mulch.
leave the mulch, you'd want to, there definitely would need to be some type of barrier to prevent the mulch from running into the lake once the erosion controls are gone.
And what he's saying is.
So you could do just
put
larger
like 6
some
inches
stone.
of larger stone
Yep.
all the way along.
Yeah, you could do 3 to 6 inch. Like I was at, you're at 4 to 5 inch.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Riprap. They call it riprap. It would be
And
angular.
they'd maintain it as a mulched area and add more plantings, or once the mulch breaks down, it breaks down?
No, maintain it as come up
I mean,
with
but
some-
I would almost say at the same time. I mean, it might not look as good, I guess, but like, and I would be okay if they didn't have angular and they wanted to spend the money on the river rock. Like you could get larger, like river rock. You know what I'm
So-
saying? But it'd just be a lot more
That's a
expensive.
big area of flat on Big
Yep.
Allen. You could almost put a ball field in there.
No, this is tiny. That's,
I'm being
Yeah.
facetious.
this shed, even if the commission would consider allowing the shed within the 25 and the 50, it will dimensionally not even fit within that section either. So basically, to get back to them, say, I have already talked to them about adding more plantings there on Gamewood. So adding more plantings, adding some, large stone to prevent the mulch from running off.
Terminology, Nick, so that they.
Yeah, like it would be like you could say a 3 to 6 inch
Yep.
either riprap or round river rock, but it would just be more expensive. And the only other thing I'd say
And
is
then they'd be able to maintain it as a mulched area.
maintain it as a mulch bed. The only problem is, and I'm sure these people are going to spend the money, but like you get the wrong mulches. You know what I'm saying? And that mulch dye, say they put it down, they bought it like fresh. It came out of like whoever around here, and we had a downpour. All that dye, if it's a dyed mulch, is
Yep.
going to go right in the water. You know what I'm saying?
So we can specify non-dyed mulch.
I'd say non-dyed mulch or wood
Organic
chips.
mulch.
Like you could almost say wood chips. It's just it's a little bit different. I mean, they could even get a tree company to come and like give them wood chips. I mean, even out.
Bunch of tree removal going on in that whole street, so.
You know what I'm saying? So that would be more the suggestion I would have because that would keep the weeds down. It just does the same thing as as mulch. It's just that mulch does normally, like, that stuff looks like it
What's
could just be
better
your
for the
ground.
lake, mulch or grass?
Like for me, like the grass will stabilizes with the roots, creates
That's what I'm saying.
for
What's better, mulch or
biodiversity,
grass?
for insects
prefer
like live
grass.
there, like to build soil. I prefer grass with the condition that there cannot be fertilizer use.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
but-
concerned with, Ed? If they put grass, they're gonna be doing more fertilizers?
Yeah. They will be.
Yeah. I mean, that is definitely gonna happen.
Just get in a boat and go around any.
Well, and the thing is too, but if they do pick it up to put grass and it's, sure they can hydroseed and it'll hold, but it's almost the same thing. If we get a downpour and they didn't sod it, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd almost have to say, like, and it's, I guess I'm just having I don't want to make people have to spend a lot more money, but at the same time, if they're gonna grass it, I would suggest sodding it, because regardless of what, if you sod it immediately, yeah, you could put rolls of sod down and they can pin it with, like little wood stakes and stuff. Immediately that area will be secure. You know what I'm saying?
That net hemp netting over it.
And not have what?
The net hemp netting over the the coconut fiber over it.
Yeah.
Even that sod that you're bringing in.
As fertilizer, you're absolutely right. You can't find a full organic, you're right. So, I mean, that's a good point. So, in a sense, if we already said the wood, I would just suggest having bigger, the same as we're saying rocks. Like, I think no matter what we do, even if you make, and they have to say, like, you can't have any dyes in it, you could try to make that. But I would say get that larger stone down by the water, because at least even if it washes out at all, it's going to wash into, say, like the first few inches of the stone. Almost like a filter, the stone is going to be like clogged, and it won't allow for any more to kind of come down to the water. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that would be my only suggestion. And I'm only looking at it for the, like, like the rains we had last night, or if we get any kind of torrential rains before. It's like right now it seems pretty stable. You might get a little bit of runoff, but I just feel like that crushed is just. And personally, I don't think that, as a landscape perspective, I don't think that they would want, like a smaller stone anyway.
Right? Guy?
The table.
Yeah.
Sorry if I overspoke.
No, no.
That
makes
helpful.
sense.
Expertise.
Good.
is
No,
welcome.
that was right on. So we're now on
12.
la 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 la. Request for certificate of compliance, Turner Lane, EP file number SCC file 300-506, 300-517.
So this is a certificate of compliance for the Turner Lane subdivision. This initially came in as just a partial request for a specific plot. After talking more to Jean and Heather, it turns out the town has accepted Turner Lane, and it is now our road. We are now responsible for all of the stormwater mitigation and everything else, so that gives the town the authority to request the certificate of compliance for the whole project. So this will be a great one to be able to close out. We're also working on doing that for the preserve too, because that's been formally accepted. So this is a combined permit, or the two DP numbers are combined under one order of conditions. I'm not sure how. So request for certificate of compliance for those two numbers together. There were no perpetual
Great.
conditions.
All right. With regards to the project at Turner Lane, DP file numbers 300-506 and 300-517. I'd like to make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance.
I know they got an and there. Did they mean through 506 through 517?
No,
Okay, all right.
two separate that'd be a lot of file numbers. Nope,
Yeah.
just two.
Okay, good. All in favor?
They is me.
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Aspar in favor.
Ed Gooder in favor?
And German in favor.
Alison Stuber in favor.
Okay. Request for a 3-year extension on property at the 51A Seneca Lane. DEP file number SCC 300-1098.
This was for construction of a new single-family home. Work has not started. I verified no activity has been done on site. They're requesting a 3-year extension.
Okay.
I don't see anything within it that
Yeah.
there'd be a significant change that would want it to review again.
With regards to the project at 51A Seneca Lane, DP file number 300-1098, I'd like to make a motion to issue a 3-year extension.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Gooder in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Request for a special use permit, Plimpton Community Forest. Is that what we're calling it now?
That's what it is called.
Community Forest?
That's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
That's the actual name of it.
When did they make that determination?
You'd know better than me. What the signs say, it's what the maps say.
Map says, long-haired people. All right,
Okay.
So this is a request from Hamilton Rod and Gun Club. Historically, they've accessed part of this property to use to do their archery shoot, even before we owned this property. I recently walked that whole area. It's basically, if you were to draw it on a map, it kind of looked like a sun with different rays coming out. So the only thing different from the previous years that I would recommend is at the end of each spoke, we'll call it, they put some type of marcation, so that way we know that's the end of it and it doesn't progressively get further and further out.
all right.
Are they on board with that? They okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to make a motion to issue this special use permit for the Hamilton Rod and Gun Club at the Plimpton Community Forest for the annual archery shoot on June 26, 2028. Is that right? Or should be 2026?
That should be 2026, sorry.
With the conditions outlined.
Good guess. Second? Yeah.
Oh, I'm just
Time of the night?
jumping out at me. I thought it was delirious because of the heat.
All right, I second it.
All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Gooder in favor.
Oh, I abstain and.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
You don't like the Rod and Gun Club?
I didn't hear it.
And Eric, I've been working in this for days, so get it.
Yeah, I've turned into a baby. I live consistently at 70 degrees. Winter, summer, it's just always 70 in my world.
Special use permit for Heinz Farm, Plimpton Community Forest, Long Pond, and Riverlands.
Last year, Opacum came to us for their more green, less green letterbox challenge. So they're requesting to use these properties, same thing again. It's just temporary totes that go out to certain areas and kids go on these activities during April vacation. The select board's already acted on this. And it's a great event. I think last year they got 35 participants. They're hoping to double that this year. So if you know anyone,
All right,
good excuse to get out.
Eric makes a motion.
Yeah, with regards to the special use permit at Heinz Farm, Plimpton Community Forest, Long Pond, and Riverlands for the Opacum Land Trust. I'd like to make a motion to approve the event on April 18th through 26th with the conditions laid out in the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Gooder in favor.
Anshman in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Request for a special use permit for the Heinz Farm, Joshua Hyde Library on 418.
So this event is for this coming Saturday. It's a family nature walk that's going to do the pond loop. The scavenger hunt is all going to be things that are already on site, not bringing in any materials. And great event working with the library.
With regards to the special use permit at Heinz Farm for the Joshua Hyde Library on April 18th, 2026, I'd like to make a motion to approve the permit with the conditions laid out in the agenda.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Gooder in favor.
German in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Review and possible action for a forest cutting plan for Hull Forest Products, 270 acres on Breakneck Road.
So last year we issued a DOA to allow Hull Forest to put some gravel, some crushed stone on that access road to go up to prevent any erosion. So now they're ready to log the property. For natural heritage restrictions, they can't actually log until November, but we received the plan and trying to review this with time. There's 2 wetland crossings that will be used, and there are a few culverts that I've already inspected that are in good shape, but they'll do continuous inspections throughout. and this is on the select board for next week, so I didn't get a chance to outline all of the conditions, but it's pretty typical of wetland crossings will be used, and they're gonna be using the timber matting for all of the wetland crossings, inspection of culverts, and no deviations from the approved activity.
So do we need to weigh in and approve, or?
Really, it's just notification. of
It's,
it.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a recommendation,
There's an,
because we make that recommendation to the select board.
I'd like to make a motion to.
well, we should see the plan. Right? Forest
Well,
Gump.
she's already reviewed it.
Oh, you have? Okay, all
I
right.
walked the property
Yeah.
in high boots with low socks. It was a bad day.
High boots, low socks.
I feel you on that. I know.
Jeez. All right. I mean, do you
Beautiful.
want?
It's a gorgeous property.
Do you want to see the?
So what exactly
So you just go past the dump.
Oh, it is right past the dog? Oh, I know that area.
Recommendation for the select board.
So what's the recommendation?
That we approve, that they approve the forest cutting plan for the Hull Forest project, Breakneck Road. So I'd like to make a motion that we recommend that the select board approve the project as put in front of them.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Peter in favor?
None in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
660 Main Street, request for a minor change to allow the installation of a concrete pad to be used for an external generator. How close to a wetland is that?
Pulling it up.
Is
So
that
it's in the already disturbed area,
the interstate?
and no, that's,
All-Star.
Or Galileo or whatever? The old Galileo?
yeah,
That new building they're
Photonis
putting in?
and
Okay.
everything.
Across from Sullivan Tire.
So it's outside of the 50, within the 100. So the box is right here, and this is being required by fire code. So it's in already disturbed area. They're going to be adding some additional vegetation to mitigate for that 4x8 spot.
All
I
right,
asked if they could move to the other side of the property, and they can't because it needs to be connected to all the electrical.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to, with regards to the project at 660 Main Street, SEC file number 23-32 A and B, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minor change to allow for the installation of a concrete pad for the use and installation of an external generator.
Great.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Nick Gravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Good one, in favor.
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Ta-da, Page.
When does this Trails Committee start again?
Okay,
I'm supposed to be
now-
liaison. I gotta get over to those people.
Agent update,
I don't know.
It's two.
violations, enforcement, complaints,
So the
comments.
I'll just go down my list because it's easier. DEP appealed the amendment to Big Alum, partially because of a wording that I had in the findings, which that's probably only the change is just going to be for her to strike that instead of going over it. But we had a great opportunity to go meet Judith Schmitz out at Big Alum with some of the BALA representatives as well to talk about the project, and just for her to get a better understanding of what we were talking about and what we were allowing. So she has no concerns with the activity itself. She wanted some more mapping on from the previous year's reports on the pondweed that was being treated. We had a great discussion about drawdowns as well, because one thing that she said that she's observed is that the lakes that draw down have more problems with invasives. So her recommendation is that when it comes to drawdowns, that the lake associations consider skipping every few years or only doing it every few years. So we talked about that with BALA, and they're going to discuss that as well, because they did see that if that's going to make an impact, that if they don't have to do a drawdown every year, what other impact that could have, especially if we're working with residents. And then also getting into that, apparently we have no control over algicides. It is not in our jurisdiction. However, it is under the bylaw jurisdiction because it's within 100 feet, because, 100 feet.
So not through the Wetland Protection Act, but
Under
through
under the Wetland Protection Act, it is not,
It's not, but under
yeah,
the
but under our
Southbridge.
bylaw, it is.
Sturbridge
So,
bylaw, okay.
yeah. So that was just something that came of it. We obviously review these with all of the plans, and we do regulate them, but just for our notice, as far, they apparently can put algicides whenever they want without our approval under the Wetland Protection Act, not under the bylaw. From the last lead mine site visit, Liz had sent me a couple properties where she noticed some encroachment issues. Out of the 4 of them, all 4 have responded. All 4 have fixed the problem, or we're waiting for snow to fix the problem. We got more permanent marcation of conservation lands out there. Everyone was very responsive, and it was the easiest enforcement I've ever had to deal with, is that they just listened the first time and did it, and it was great. And it was an opportunity to connect with those, residents and let them know about the area that they're in.
That's awesome.
Good.
Other awesome news, we're no longer in a level 3 drought.
Yay.
We're up to level 1, down to level 1. Drought obviously is still a significant impact that we've been seeing in and out over the years. So order your rain barrels before the 29th and pick them up on the 11th because they're fantastic. Sturbridge is also updating our hazard mitigation plan, and conservation is part of that team for development, so that will be a great opportunity for us to kind of get involved with what the protocols are and protecting resource areas. One thing that our town administrator had actually brought up too was reducing fire risks and how we can work that into not only, forest stewardship plans, but also into our hazard mitigation plan for trying with all of the droughts, trying to prevent forest fires, because there were 3 last summer in town. None of them were major, thank goodness, but one thing that we'll be looking at going towards this plan. The library is offering a ton of fantastic classes coming up, especially earth-related. UMass donated soil testing kits to the library that anybody can rent out now. So that's great for all of our residents that are concerned of saying, hey, I think I really, really need fertilizer. Well, why don't you get your soil tested? They're doing a class next Tuesday on how to use the soil testing kits. I've already shared this information with a couple of our lake associations, just saying that these kits are available. But this is also great information for us too. One, that if we ever have soil testing that we want to try and do on any of our property, or if we have concerns for a specific, project that we're working on, of, encouraging them to utilize that great resource. We issued a lake survey recently. I'm still going through all of the results. And of the 150 people that took it, there was only a few comments that complained about taxes, which is obviously something that we have nothing to do with. I think we structured the survey well enough that to kind of say that that's not what this survey was about. But overall, it was a good mix of 50-50 of the people that took it, of the lake residents, that they would like more guidance on when to apply for permits, what type of permits they need, and just kind of like a 101 crash course, which is very hard to do because every project is going to be different, especially once you start getting into minor activities in already developed areas, what's exempt under the Wetland Protection Act, what's not exempt under our bylaw. So, it's hard to really give cut and dry answers, but we'll look at it that way. And then the other half of them are just people that are really concerned about lake health and wanting to know what they can do to improve that. So I'm reaching out to some different consultants to see if we can actually have a professional that can do some type of seminar of everyday practices or things that they're noticing in the state that are really impacting lake health. Town Cleanup Day is this Saturday from 9 to 11. You can clean up all month long. I've got supplies already to go, but if you want to participate in that specific event, we're meeting at the rec at 9 a.m. You can grab equipment and pick your area to go clean up. Town meeting is coming up on the 27th, so please everyone attend.
Can I ask a question about the cleanup? Is there a place to leave the bags after the cleanup? Is
So
going to
you'll
be at the
kind of
back?
just, as long as they're not directly in the road, you'll be able to just leave them where you are. And then you'll just let Terry and I know where you're gonna leave them so we can tell DPW where they'll be. And then DPW will go back and pick them all up. Majority of you all probably know that this past Monday was election day, and we had a really good opportunity to kind of set up a table display at the election day in the lobby area. All the boards and committees were invited to set something up. It was a really great opportunity to talk to people, to meet people face to face that we've never met with, let them talk about, issues that they're having in their area, get the word out about the new open space guide, and sign up for rain barrels and recruit for any boards and committees that had vacancies. So going forward, this is something that we will look to do for other events. Trails was able to go and use that as an opportunity to talk to voters about the bridge project because that's back on the warrant for this year. So it was good for them to be able to really break down for people what it is and where the money is coming from, something that I think was missed at the last meeting. Obviously, we approved that project, so we're supportive of that project. Site visits. We can meet for Kerboy on the 30th after 1:30, if you are all available,
What day is that?
a Thursday. Or Monday, the 4th.
4th?
Mm-hmm.
That works. Because I finished teaching that week. So
Okay.
May is back
So that's May 4th?
May 4th. Is there a time that's good?
What time?
I'm fine.
You have to do it, not at sunrise, they'll shoot us. Do it at like 9 o'clock.
Do you want to do Podunk and Bennett on those same days?
I do,
All three of them? I don't have any new applications for the next meeting, so we don't need any site visits for new projects.
What day are we saying for a site visit?
Monday the 4th.
and 9th.
May the 4th.
Ah,
4th be with you.
and that's just the
Everyone
normal
rather
time?
hear.
What time? 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock. Make sure that,
What day did we say for Kerboy? We say it already?
May 4th at 9 a.m.
For Kerboys too?
May 4th at 9 a.m. And
Oh,
then
okay. Oh,
we'll
you're
do
saying
the
that. I'm sorry,
We'll do
I'm-
the other two right after that.
Perfect.
Those were the times that corresponded with both of our schedules.
yeah, make sure Bennett's is ready if he's gonna, I don't know, sometimes that stuff just disappears for a while.
Okay.
But he said he was in Alaska.
You think he's out there maintaining his flags anyway?
I have no idea. I'm just saying. Office
is closed on Monday for Patriots Day. I'm on vacation Wednesday till the following Tuesday. Lori will be in the office Tuesday for the rest of next week, if you need anything.
Next community preservation meeting is at the town meeting. On the 27th, we meet at 6:30.
Okay. I don't know when Trails meets. I've asked Slack to include both Floor and Mary Dowling, because she's apparently the select board representative for Slack,
Yeah.
when they send their agendas. The last two, they're meeting the same time. They were meeting today when we were meeting. I've asked them to try and avoid. But I was told that at the last meeting, Slack is pushing back on the lake testing program, saying that it should be the town's responsibility. Now, we pay for it. The town pays for the volunteer lake testing of all of the lakes that they do. We pay for it. It's in our budget. I've offered to provide them with, GIS equipment to be able to pinpoint things.
Is that Tim that you talked to?
No, Tim's not on Slack.
He's not on Slack.
No. So,
Can we ask them to share their minutes or something?
yeah, I have them.
Okay.
I'll post them. So my response back to that was essentially that this could be the death of the lake testing program because this is done in the summer. That's peak activity for us. And, you know, I've been giving so much support to Slack. I've been fine tuning them, making sure everyone's all, you know, got their ducks in a row as far as being sworn in and that they have their proper representatives. And before they met this year, I had, you know, sent them a list of things to talk about, and one was lake testing program of how we can make it better and get the results, because they do the lake testing, they send it to the lab, we get the results, and that's it. We don't have anyone to analyze them. We don't have anyone to compare them from previous years. So it's not that the data is useless, but that's it. That's the end of it. If there's some areas that the test results are coming up bad, we don't know where those areas are to determine if we need to go back out and test it. So I had requested, hey, what are some ways we can make this better? Can we partner with colleges? Can we look at other testing, you know, labs to try and get more results out of this? And this was what came back with, that it should be the town's responsibility to figure it out. And
Who was it that gave you that?
the chair of Slack.
Okay.
Who is?
I'm sure we could find somebody out of UMass that
What's
would.
that?
He said he was coming back with a fever, telling us all about what we needed to do. It would be about this time of year from his last time in.
We sent them, when they sent that position paper on how they needed more support, and I sent the letter that you had all reviewed, that I said, you know, give us examples, like what type of support do you need? Do you need us to just share links and resources? Also recommending, like, why don't we have a joint meeting once a year and talk about things? And I did say, hey, follow up on this. Do you guys want to do this? And no response back. So it seems the lake associations are all on completely different pages, because I've also spoken with people on other lakes that don't feel this way. I've also spoken with people on lakes that feel that Slack is favoring a specific lake more than the others. So I don't know, but I'm concerned. And it's hard to intervene when they meet the same time we do, to be able to talk to everyone.
And they've been doing that for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then trails, I don't know when they meet, but I've been working on a list of just trying to catch up with trails on all of these projects. There's outstanding NOIs that they owe us, especially for Fisk Hill, and just kind of figuring out
water right now.
what's and the delineation that we had confirmed that they filled wetlands to make the trails. So yeah. There's a lot of discussions that have to be had there.
What trails did they fill wetlands on?
Fisk Hill.
On the Fisk Hill?
It was the contractor.
They thought it was just wet areas. I had it delineated, and it turns out they were wetlands, not just wet areas.
You had it delineated by who?
Conservation Works, when we did the baseline documentation.
All right.
They were building it during the drought, and that's why.
Yeah, so it's
didn't
been
appear like to be
active.
wetland.
Supposedly, Conservation and Select Board already approved the trail map. I don't have any record of that, but we still just need them to file a notice of intent for those trail systems, now that we know that they're there. And they're aware of that too. So I'm just trying to clean everyone up, help them get their ducks in a row, make sure everyone's compliant and that we're not showing favoritism anywhere and we're treating everyone the same.
We ought to take a Fisk Hill site visit, and go down and
We should. I'm actually, we
Right along.
still don't have a CR holder. I'm currently talking to Greater Worcester Land Trust and Common Ground to see if they're interested, so we'll be doing a site visit with that too, sooner than later, because we're required, we bought it with CPC funds, so we're required to put a CR on it. And I don't know, it's been 4 years, and I don't know what happens if you don't do the requirements of community preservation. I don't know if there's like a slap on the wrist or a penalty, but we get so much funding from that I don't want to do anything that will, conservation restriction.
Conservation restrictions.
So there was a couple steps that we skipped before we started making trails.
Gotcha.
So we're backtracking on that a little bit.
But we ought to go down and look at it. Everybody ought to see it.
I mean, it was in rough shape when we got it. It was a bad logging activity.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot
It was
about
rough before, but let's make it good now. And same with recreation too, trying to get them, they're trying to do their hydro raking this year, and I told them they needed to file a notice of intent. Solitude pushed back and said that they had a letter from Glenn that said it was covered under the vegetation management plan, and I said that there's a new DEP file number, and it's not, dredging is not part of vegetation management, so they need to file a new notice of intent. So I recommended that Rec just does a whole notice of intent of any activity, because he wants to add more sand to that area. So I just said, do a whole notice of intent just for 60 Cedar Street of anything you want to do, any ongoing maintenance, and then you can just keep renewing it and go about it that way. So working with them on that too. But treat everyone the same, because
People notice if you don't.
yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of December 11th, 2025.
That's actually, sorry, a correction. I didn't update it from the regular agenda to the detailed. It's February 12th and March 6th that we need.
Oh.
And
Oh, all right.
February?
So,
and Eric and Floor were not here on the 12th.
And I wasn't here on the 6th.
Okay.
Ed and Karsten missed the 6th, right?
Yep.
All right. So I can't make the motion on February 12th then, because I wasn't here.
motion.
Kirsten and Nick.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nick Ravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar abstain.
Ed Gooder in favor?
German abstains.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
And then March 6th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of March 6th, 2026.
Second? I'm sorry.
Is that the one I missed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Yep. You were learning how to see again.
He's still learning.
Still learning.
All right. Nick in favor.
Nick Ravel in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Gooder abstained.
German in favor.
Carsten Stuber abstain.
There you go. Karsten, do your thing.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
You all vote yes.
Oh my God, that was a long meeting again.
Goodness gracious.
We
I
have
need a
good.
shot.